Goes high. And she's got the distance on this as well. Number 2 here for Isha Oza. She's making merry in the middle.
First of all, and we've got someone very special with us, Tirtha Satish. Tirtha, welcome. Firstly, how was the experience of batting out there, the conditions, and what were your chat with Isha Oza?
First of all, yeah, it's very hot over here and very humid. So yeah, everyone's sweating a lot. And actually, we had no chats. We were just laughing around and chatting about everything except cricket. Obviously, there was talks about the ground where you're not getting value for your shots. So many fours that were missed out, and you have to make it up with the running. Yeah.
That's a beautiful challenge itself, isn't it? When you're playing the women's emerging teams, the Asia Cup, it prepares you better to knock the doors at the higher levels too, because you're better cricketers at the end of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think every match, no matter who the opposition, makes you a better cricketer. And that depends on how you take it and what you learn after it. So I think, yeah, every match has new learnings and we're taking it.
Now that you've assessed the conditions, I understand that the wicket has fallen, but it's a great recovery. Have you changed the total that you have in mind, or is it still 130?
No, I think we're going to go for the same total till the end. I think the match is not over. We've got a good batting depth and we trust all our players. And yeah, I mean, wickets do fall. I guess you're still going to stick with the way you play and you're going to stick with the same intent. That's what got you so far and that's what's got you the runs. I think if it fails you one match, I don't think there's any need to, criticize it or challenge it much. Yeah.
And finally, there's a hint of spin, just the kind that will kiss the outside edge, not extravagant spin. How are you planning to tackle that? And was it always in your mind playing Sri Lanka, which is a very spin-friendly country in itself?
I think not much thought. I think as the ball comes, just face it. I mean, at the end of the day, no matter who's spinning it or what's spinning it, I mean, the ball is going to come as it is and the ball never lies. So,
As always, Tirtha keeping it simple. Lovely chatting with you. All the best for the rest of the game.
thank you so much, sir.
Tirtha Satish, over to comms now.
Yeah, thanks to us, Tirtha Satish, the immensely talented Tirtha Satish. Always nice to hear from her. But look, I tell you what, it's hard work in the middle for Sri Lanka-A. Another over ticks by. They're going at over 7.5 runs and over, the UAE. Bit of a baptism of fire so far for Sri Lanka's bowlers. Rashmi Silva as well, a little bit loose in that first over. She's pumped over long on, that brilliant shot. We've spoken about this short boundary as well before from the Argyle Street end. And it's going to be a factor throughout this tournament. You can bet your bottom dollar.
Oh, yes, and that's why you need to play smart cricket. You need to really pick your spots. And that's exactly what Isha Oza has done. That's what you run the risk of getting spinners in too early on a surface that is not aiding much of spin and turn, and that's why the batter can play through the line at times, just like how Isha has done. All right, Kavisha has looked good so far. She'll also want to be amongst runs in this game. You really want to start off well.
Bit of right arm seam. Oh, good effort again. Just about evading the hand of the bowler. It's only going to be a single. This is the story of the day so far for Sri Lanka. A lot of despairing dives, close to cutting off the ball, but not quite.
Well, desperation and inspiration in the middle. Oh, yes, the boundaries have come at ease, the sixes as well, and the singles too. Good toss too for UAE. There again. Just gives that a swivel, goes down on one knee, gets to the other end, Isha Oza.
Yeah, I think she's disappointed as well, Isha Oza. There was a bit of a gap there between fine leg in the circle and square leg on the boundary. Like I said, 5-4, offside field right now. You don't want to bowl two leg sides. Somewhere in that corridor of uncertainty, that's your best bet.
Just tentative in that push towards covers. They're happy rotating the strike at the moment, and it's paying dividends as well. Minimum risk, maximum runs coming at the moment.
Isha Oza on strike, getting closer and closer to that half century. Down the track, she's not going to get her half century. A big, big breakthrough for Sri Lanka-A and an even bigger celebration.
I just wonder what was going through her mind. Was it a brain freeze moment? It was a neat, and she'll know it as well as she walks back to the dugout. Elation here for Sri Lanka. They've toiled hard here in the middle, in the sweltering, humid heat, and they finally get a wicket, and that too a big one. Isha departs, went for another big hit, missed it completely, played all over it.
Yeah, I tell you what, Isha Oza, she's the kind of player that wants to grab the bull by the horns, and sometimes that can prove to be a downfall as well. But I tell you what, Mikhail, I actually have no issue there with the shot selection, but it did look like she took her eyes off the ball.
Just felt maybe it kept a tad bit low as well. We'll have to just once again look at it in replays, but great opportunity squandered here by Isha. I thought she would be really eyeing a big score. Nevertheless, that brings in the skipper. Captain Chaya Mughal makes her way to the middle at a time where her team is comfortably placed, but they'll be eyeing another good partnership in the middle. And all of a sudden, you can hear a lot of chirping in the ground in the middle. Sri Lanka-A, we just want to seize the opportunity here.
First ball, Chaya Mughal. Watchfully played. And she's that sort of player as well, Chaya Mughal. She's not the biggest hitter. She's not gonna hit 6 sixes in an over, Chaya Mughal. The thing about her, the captain, she's very level-headed. And she's a well-respected leader as well. Has done great things with this UAE outfit.
Fuller this time, driven towards mid-off. It's been a very fine over.
63 for 2 after 9. The successful over there from Methananda. And if she can do well in this game and in this series, she can start pushing the likes of Ama Kanchana, start pushing the likes of Udeshika Prabodhani in that first choice national team.
And look at that for a start. Satish and Isha looking very good. Satish departed first on 16. Isha just sometime back in the last over went for the big heave. Wonderful innings of 39 and only 30 deliveries, and this means that Kavisha and Chaya will need to rebuild. But look at this for a venue.
Love that view. A lot of greenery. The quick single, this could be out. Big appeal. Yeah, there you go. Third wicket down. Big celebrations from Sri Lanka-A, and absolutely needless there. A big mix-up between Kavisha Egedegi and the skipper Chaya Mughal. It's the skipper walking back to the dugout for a big fat 0.
And I'll tell you what, I'm not too sure if Chaya Mughal was up for the single. Very slow to get into the crease, and look at that. Very easy by the end of it. She was nowhere in the frame. She was struggling. A collision as well with the wicketkeeper, but Chaya has to walk back. Wicket number 3. 2 quick wickets, and UAE are struggling. Chaya departs without scoring. Problems plenty here, and the momentum has shifted.
You're absolutely right, Mikhail. The momentum has most definitely shifted. New batter at the crease. Unless my eyes are deceiving me, that's Khushi Sharma walking in at number 5. But I tell you what, in the blink of an eye, they've gone from scoring at 7.5 runs and over to less than 7 runs and over. They've lost 2 very quick wickets. Just allows Sri Lanka to maybe claw their way back into the contest. We spoke about this earlier as well. Spin, you get the feeling that's most likely their strong suit, Sri Lanka-A.
You spoke about the Sri Lanka-A team believing that they're right back in the contest. Look at that for a discussion. Look at that for a huddle. They are sensing an opportunity to come back and take complete control. And UAE, well, it's hard work once again. They'll have to rebuild, but that run out, absolutely suicidal.
Look, the good news for the UAE, Kavisha Egedegi is still out there, undefeated on 7 off 13. But she's got some rebuilding to do here with Khushi Sharma. I think the need of the hour, well, it's not rocket science, Mikhail. just try and build a partnership. You've got a bit of a run rate cushion right now. Let's take a look at that replay. Never in any doubt. A nice throw, good collection. Chaya Mughal was not even in the frame.
Oh yes, and I must compliment the Sri Lankan fielders this morning. Yes, they've been running helter-skelter, but they've shown a lot of commitment. They've put in the dives, and they've not missed out on opportunities. A good catch taken by Umar Shah at mid-off, and this run-out, which means they've been sharp in the field, despite being hit all around the park. And that's what you do. Some sharp brilliance in the middle does bring about a change.
You see that smile on the face of Rashmi Silva as well. The leg spinner. She's played 2 T20Is for Sri Lanka. She's taken 2 wickets. Apologies, 2 ODIs. I beg your pardon. Got Shafali Verma out in her second game as well. She can be a bit expensive, Rashmi Silva, but she's got a very deceptive straighter delivery.
And immediately a slip in place as well for the new batter. Very good captaincy. You want to attack. You want to put the pressure. You want another wicket.
Yeah, you're not going to get an outside edge like that. Very lucky to get away with that. One bounce to deep mid-wicket. Khushi Sharma gets off the mark.
And what a delivery to get off the mark as well. Just eases all the nerves and pressure. But all eyes on Kavisha. She'll need to move on from the run out and should not be playing on her mind.
Oh, 2 leg side again, gets away with a poor delivery. Unable to beat fine leg Kavisha Egedegi. But look, I tell you what, Mikhail, the amateur leg spinner in me absolutely loves this. Just a little bit of turn off the deck. We got that first slip in position. Look at that replay. Oh, you've got to find the boundary.
I didn't know you were a leg spinner, Jay. I fancied leg spinners when I played my cricket.
Most people who play me don't realize I'm a leg spinner. I don't really get spin. Drilled, beats cover, but doesn't beat deep cover. Just a single.
And all of a sudden, you sense that UAE has just got into their shell, little tentative right now. Good comeback here by Sri Lanka. Very good comeback. They've kept things simple.
Yeah, much better in the second half of this contest so far. Good length as well, that in-between length. You're not sure, should I go forward, should I stay back? It's been another good over, this for Sri Lanka. Lucky to get away with a few looseners, make no mistake about that. 66 for 3, 1 ball left in the 10th over.
Nicely punched off the back foot, another single towards covers. So it's been an eventful last 4 to 5 minutes at the halfway stage. UAE 67 for 3.
Yeah, you can see just a bit of a misfield there. Last ball of the over, a little bit loose. And it also allows Kavisha to retain strike. Been a bit of a slow start here for Kavisha. But the important thing is she's still there. And you can see that bowling card as well. A wicket apiece for Malsha Shahani and Maitananda right up at the top. A much better second over from the right arm seamer. And we're going to see a change in commentary. It's Suhas Vedam and Khyati Gulani back on the mic.
It's given. Oh, UAE in deeper trouble now. Metananda amongst the wickets yet again. Oh, what a start to this over. What a start to this over. Now, where was this one going? Oh, well, the umpire reckons would have clipped the leg stump. And that solo appeal from the bowler does the trick. The Lionesses roar again. And this time it's Kavisha Kumari, who spent some time in the middle, but couldn't get going. 9 of 17. UAE in deeper trouble. 67 for 4.
In the starting of the match, they asked and they said that they have set, they're going to set a target of 130, but it looks like it is getting a little difficult for them. If we talk about T20 cricket, it has to be improvised cricket. They need to keep rotating the strike, they need to look for the gaps, and they need to be on the pitch to do that. Oh, it was a very good cheeky single from cover point area. It was an easy single. But trust me, this single double game is not going to take them any closer to 130. But if we see, Suhas, that 130 is not a very good target to defend on this kind of a ground, as the ground is a little bit smaller. The boundaries are very closer, so I think that it has to be somewhere near 140, 145 to defend easily.
145 at the moment is a distant dream. This is the rebuilding phase, Kathy. Having lost the skipper in one of the worst ways possible, the run out. There's a lot of rebuilding to do for UAE. And I sense that Chaya Mughal would have been the ideal cricketer at that situation where UAE lost that wicket. But she had to walk back. The slower delivery. No timing on this. This is the 5th. Samara Dharnidarka doesn't last long. And the simplest of catches to see her end. UAE in deep, deep trouble now. Half the side back in the hut for 69 on the board.
Yes, exactly. I mean, this is not going to work for them. Not going on this side. They need to come up with some plan B. And I'm sure the coach is talking to the players and sending them with some good messages. But nothing is seems to be working for them. Samira won from 2 balls. Khushi is still on the crease. See, let's see the replay. She tried to play outside the boundary, but it was straight into the hands of the fielder. Tharika was the fielder.
A little tentative, a single. I'm very surprised that even the singles are turning tentative. What do you think has got UAE into this position apart from that run out? Do you think it's the shot selection? But I'm telling you again, apart from the run out, because the calling has been awful and there are no two ways about it.
Yes, it was kind of a suicide, I would say. And they should be spending a little bit of time on the crease to get some runs on the board.
Metananda, 3 wickets, making an impact in the very first game itself. And I think the lack of pace is the way to go ahead, is what the bowler is suggesting. Every other ball is slower delivery. 11 gone, 71 for 5. $71 for 5. Judith is the new batter in, and Khushi has just missed 4 balls. And that extravagant shot that she's trying for wasn't in a good position to play that either. Silver's got to weave a web around the batters, and this is why Judith is in the middle.
Let's see the replay of this. Oh, it was an easy catch up in the air, straight into the hands of the fielder. She's bowling beautifully. Generally, what we see with the leg spinners, it is very hard for them to get the spot. And when they get the spot, they are very dangerous to play. And I must say that somebody needs to take the responsibility to spend some time on the wicket. Oh, it's a beautiful shot towards the mid-on area. And it was an easy single from long on. Fielder was there, but they took it very easily. I think they should be taking first run fast. I'll still say that they need to be a little bit proactive in their approach.
It's not the easiest of batting wickets either, but it's just the way they've got out, which is very disappointing for UAE fans. I love this from Sandeepani. She's deployed a slip. Silvers is questioning the outside edge. That was half-hearted an appeal. You always know that it's half-hearted and it's only the keeper appealing and the bowler is peeling away. Bit of drift as well, Khyati. And that bit of drift can confuse the batters when the ball's not turning because it makes them a candidate for LBW.
Yes, there was a little bit of miss catch from the keeper.
If UAE are going to look at the positives. Oh, well. Was in a hurry to clip the bills. Missing the ball on that occasion. And Judith suggesting that there's a bit more turn for the wrist spinner. One of the pros that UAE can find at this stage with 72 for 5 is the fact that Judith is very, very experienced and she's been through conditions of this kind. 72 for 5. .72 for 5 in 12 overs. Sri Lanka-A have bowled wonderfully well, and I love the fact that they're very hungry for wickets. Not even for a moment it felt like Sandeepani wants to defend, always on the attack.
Judith Peter, she's an Indian-born cricketer who plays for UAE national cricket team. In July 2018, she was named in the UAE squad for 2018 ICC Women's World T20 qualifier tournament.
Single. And that's when I saw Judith for the first time. Phenomenal keeper. There were some poor deliveries from the bowlers, but she was able to keep them as well down the leg side. And you always know that as a bowler, you're thanking them at the end of that spell. Khyati, you are a coach yourself. What do you tell the keeper? How to support the bowlers? And is it an unwritten rule in cricket these days that you need to be chirpy as a keeper?
Yes, definitely. They have all the idea, all the sight of full ground about the batter. They need to tell the cues. They can easily read the batter, what they're trying to do. They can read their feet. There's a little bit of a misfield from the long on fielder.
It's not going to be a common sight, I'm very sure, with Sri Lanka-A. The standards that they set for themselves, they've been absolutely magnificent till this point. It's just a rare occasion where the ball has burst through the hands. And the sun is out again. And with the sun playing hide and seek, Hong Kong is living up to its expectations, isn't it? As a batter, do you realize that it's going to get a little trickier to spot the ball for just that one moment when suddenly the sun is out because your pupils have to adjust?
Yes, definitely. But this game is all about adjusting and adapting. And how soon you adopt the climate and the conditions, you are in the game. Otherwise, it's very difficult to be there in the center to... I'm sure that the captain is really...
It's going to be a single. They're not even trying for two.
I mean, it's a terrific piece of captaincy I can see the kind of the field setup, the way they have taken the slips throughout the game. They're trying for the wickets, and they're successful also in that.
Just a little more tossed up to elucidate the fact that Judith, you can go for the shot if you want. Not tempted at all, Judith. She's looking at the scorecard and playing accordingly. 77 for 5. Sri Lanka A on top.
Let us look at the scorecard. Kushi is playing on 8, and she has used 10 balls so far. It was a short ball, and it was there in the air, but it goes along the ground. Easy single. I think they did not take the single.
UAE are known for skyscrapers. Today they're trying to build one, but the base has to be laid down again through singles. 78 for 5. It's a situation that's not allowing them to free their arms. Bowling has been absolutely magnificent from Sri Lanka A. Look at that. Perhaps the first error in all the delivery she's bowled so far. Is she trusting that length a little more, that line a little more? Because if the ball doesn't turn, then you're not making the batter a candidate for LBW by any means, because it can only be out if there are 2 sets of stumps in our game. What do you do? Is that a very innocuous delivery? Oh, well, this could be trouble. This could be trouble. The extra bit of floated up in the air. Nilakshana is waiting for the umpire to go upstairs. And she does. It's a little delayed a decision, but delaying is not... It's not a problem for Sri Lanka as long as the decision is in their favour. Venturing out to reach the ball. Beautifully bowled by Silva. It's not a clean collect on the first go, but somehow was able to tame that delivery. The keeper. Oh, well, wait a minute. Is there any part of that glove while she breaks the stumps? Is there any part of the glove, or is it just that we're obscuring that glove from this angle and we're not getting the complete picture? What does the third umpire think? Kathy, what do you say first up?
Yes, it was a mistake by the batter. They should know where the crease is. And everybody is waiting for umpire's call. There is a hurdle by a Sri Lankan team. They're still discussing their points, making the strategies. I think they're living up to their expectations so far.
She hasn't whipped the bails off. She's slapped the stumps. But if it'll float the boat to Sri Lanka A, why not? Is this the 6th wicket for UAE? What this angle doesn't show is how close the other hand is to the glove that's holding the ball as well. If it's in contact even one bit, then the batter is in deep, deep trouble. The very experienced Judith is looking at the umpire with almost tears in her eyes, because UAE are in dire need of Judith at the moment. Oh wow, we didn't have to wait long for the action to be so thrilling in Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup 2023. And we're just getting started. It's going to be a carnival for an entire week and more. It's a very happy lot, Sri Lanka A. And why not, when you've pinned the opposition down with just 70 odd on the board. the fact they're looking at it for a longer period of time just suggests they're looking for conclusive evidence that the batter is out. Otherwise, it goes in the batter's favour. But I still feel that Judith is in trouble. It's just that we're not getting that other angle. If we do, the story would be clearer and sooner. Now Vrinda Rathi, our TV umpire for today. Vrinda Rathi wants to be absolutely sure before passing on the message to the on-field umpires. And what's it going to be? Will they disperse in despair or will they jump up in joy? Khyati?
Seems that it's out, but then, yeah, no, it's not an out. Everybody seems to be a little upset. It was a very good piece of wicket keeping by the keeper. And I think she was a little bit of late in doing that, but still she tried her best.
I think the only reason that's not out would be the fact that it didn't hit the gloves didn't hit, and it's the arm that's beyond the glove that broke the stumps. What do you feel?
Yeah, quite a possibility.
We've got Jay with someone special.
Alvis, the team manager for Sri Lanka-A and the first ever captain of the Sri Lankan women's test team. Rasanjali, thank you for joining us. And I got to say, a bit of a rough start for Sri Lanka-A, but the girls have fought back really well.
Actually, when I was playing in the UAE the first time, and they played very well first 5 overs, and but we have backup plan too. Then I think captain done very good job, changed the bowlers and went to the back to the game.
Yeah, and we spoke about this off camera as well earlier. You know, what are you comfortable chasing in you know, given the surface and given the fact that, you know, it's the first game of the tournament as well?
It is nothing much like actually telling, because even chasing or bowling, we are both ready to come here, play here. I think I think lost the toss, so we got the bowling part. So we happily took that over.
Yeah, I can see that big smile on your face now as well. It's been a really good fielding effort as well, especially with that run out.
Yes, they done very good in the home, and they play a lot of cricket in the home in Sri Lanka. That's the result we can see in the pitch.
Yeah, and of course, a big question, of course, as the first ever test captain for the Sri Lankan women's team. You know, you've been around for so long, you're the team manager now. Just talk to us more about, you know, what it was like playing cricket back then and what it's like nowadays, the cricketing landscape for women in Sri
actually,
Lanka.
when I was playing like 20 years back, and now with compares developed a lot. And in Sri Lanka cricket, they help me women's a lot. There's a lot of development plan, and our president Shama Silva working out very hard of that. So with compare with that, the huge different with we are coming developing, and we are planning to play. One day we want to win the World Cup. Those are the plan we have in Sri Lanka. So we are working on that. That's
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ms. Rasanjali de Alvis, for joining us. And back to you guys in the comm box.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jay. It's always lovely to talk to Rasanjali, the first ever test captain of Sri Lanka women. Imagine holding that badge. The dreams with which Sri Lanka women took the field that day. She was the woman in charge. Rasanjali. Khushi's worked her way up to 11 of 15. It's been a very quiet 11, and understandably so. Judith, on the other hand, she's been kept quiet by Sri Lanka-A owing to some beautiful bowling. And again, the height factor. Khushi, the taller of the two, able to smother the spin. Judith is realizing that the ball's falling just out of her reach.
Exactly. As I said earlier also, that she is using the advantage of her height. And I must say that today all the spinners are stealing the show. Oh, there's excellent bowling, piece of bowling by the Madhusani. There's no mistake done by the keeper. Excellent piece of bowling, yeah.
Oh, the
Was-
cross-batted shot. The cross-batted shot wasn't very warranted given the situation. Judith misses it. The bowler doesn't. Stump picked back. UAE pinned to the mat. 83 for 6 with Judith's exit.
As we say, you miss, I hit.
Judith Joe-Speeder back for 5. And UAE in deeper trouble. 83 for 6.
Thank you, Suhas and Khyati. I gotta say, 83 for 6 right now, 5 overs left. There's a running joke in Hong Kong as well, Mikhail. Every time Jay Danciani hits the com box, the run rate slows down.
If I'm a batting side, I'll certainly be worried about you being in the com box then, Jay.
Watchfully played, down to long on. But it's such a different game now to the first 4 or 5 overs. The first 4 or 5 overs, it was all the UAE. Isha Oza as well, pumping 2 maximums down the ground. But you gotta say, it's that Isha Oza wicket, that was the turning point for the UAE.
And I'll tell you that scorecard, the batting card of UAE, tells quite a story. 2 batters in double figures up front, and after that it's been single digits. Nicely bowled. What a comeback here by Sri Lanka. Had their backs to the wall, but they've just changed things around.
Yeah, I love that delivery. That fuller length delivery, couldn't get under it. You see on that replay, in the block hole, absolutely perfect. Consecutive dot balls. Vaishnavi Mahesh, I beg your pardon. I'm getting a bit tongue-tied here. It's very hot here in Hong Kong.
Just drifting down leg on this occasion. An ambitious appeal there by Shehani. 84 for 6 at the toss. Chaya Mughal had stated something in excess of 130 is what they're looking at.
Very optimistic appeal, I gotta say. Sri Lanka-A, but then again, if you don't ask, you will never receive. 2 balls left in the over. Again, strikes her on the pads. That's 4 consecutive dot balls. Vaishnavi Mahesh, she's actually quite a dangerous hitter down the order. She has a bit of a reputation, Vaishnavi Mahesh, but coming in such a tough situation.
And that's what pressure can do. There again, just drifting it into the pads. Trying to play that towards mid-wicket. This time, she does it successfully, but look at that fielding effort. And that's what's been the highlight here for Sri Lanka this morning. Another splendid over here. Just the 1 run conceded, 16 gone, it's 84 for 6.
And look at that run rate. At one stage, they were going at 7.5, 8 runs and over. And now they're just going at 5. Well, actually less than 5.5 runs and over. But a left arm spin.
Tossed up, plays it down towards long gone for a single. So the boundaries have dried up. We're not even getting to the big hits. When Isha Oza was there, it looked like she was playing in her backyard. That's how easy run scoring was, but Sri Lanka-A have bowled to a plan, taken their catches. Madhushani into a 4th, conceded only 16 and a wicket for her as well. They have been tidy.
Yeah, absolutely. The left arm spinner Madhushani, one of the architects of this slowdown for the UAE. Look at that. Beautiful delivery, a bit of drift in, some purchase off the wicket. Beats the outside edge of Vaishnavi Mahesh.
A typical left arm orthodox spinner's delivery there. Stock delivery, entice the batter forward, just drag her, just pull it back of the length and get that to tweak a bit as well off the surface. Brilliant bowling.
Bit of a frustrating start here for Mahesh, scoreless off her first 5 deliveries. Can she get off the mark? Not quite, it's a wide delivery. She's going to have to load up again.
Into the 17th over. Just punches that off to point. Another dot ball. And this will really pile on as pressure, not just for the batters in the middle, but even the dugout where you'll see some anxious faces.
In the air and taken, a soft dismissal. Vaishnavi Mahesh doesn't trouble the scorers. Dismissed for 0 of 8 deliveries and the 7th wicket down now for the UAE.
Well, Umasha there once again. She took a catch earlier as well and bit off a single one-handed catch, and this time too. Very quick with that jump. Timed it beautifully. Nice catch. That ball was firmly struck. Vaishnavi has to depart. And wickets have fallen in a procession here for UAE. They've just not been able to control the situation.
Yeah, I tell you what, the left arm spinner may be getting a little bit lucky with that dismissal. It was a leg stump half volley. Vaishnavi Mahesh very frustrated. She was looking to go over the top. I don't blame her, actually. Final few overs, you want that run rate kick. You want to get up to maybe 110, 115. But maybe they need to revise that target. As a bare minimum, the UAE must be looking to get up to that magical 3-figure mark. 7 wickets down.
This time looks to go big, misses that completely. Madhushani has been very impressive, 2 for 17 for her. Not too sure if that was the right shot to be hit, but this one just didn't quite get underneath that, and a wonderful catch by Umasha. They know it, and she's been very, very alert in the middle. Delight there for Sri Lanka-A.
Sia Gokhale, the new batter at the crease, cannot get off the mark. Another successful over here for Sri Lanka-A. UAE 86 for 7. It's a big opportunity for Sia Gokhale as well. She's played 17 T20Is for the UAE, but she's only bowled in 5 innings and only batted 4 times. So she can have maybe a cheeky 15-20 not out. She can push her case for a more regular spot in that national team. 3 overs left.
Taken on the full, that's been popped out. It was to her right, but I'm sure that could have been taken, and she knows it as well. Khushi survives.
Yeah, she mishit that, Khushi Sharma. But Malsha Shehani, definitely a chance. It should have been 8 wickets down.
Just like the way Sri Lanka have attacked, and the credit has to go to the captaincy as well. Some very brave decisions. This time around, plays all over it, plays across the line, and Khushi departs. Another wicket here for Malsha Shehani. Wicket number 8 for UAE goes down, and they're all over the mat.
That's a big wicket as well. Khushi Sharma, 14. She's dismissed for 14 of 21 deliveries. One of the few batters so far today to get into double figures for the UAE. And this is how she got out. Nothing fancy about that, just a straight delivery. But like you said, Mikhail, earlier in the broadcast, maybe the ball just keeping a tad low.
But yes, it does stop and come if you're a slow bowler. And what Sri Lanka have smartly done is, after the first few overs, they've just adopted to spin, taken the pace off the ball, and that's where things got difficult for UAE. Very smart piece of captaincy and bowling as well. Bowl it slower, gets low as well at times, and at the moment UAE with 8 wickets for 86 runs, have themselves to blame. They were in the driver's seat, as you pointed out some time back, going at a run rate of 7. Avni comes to the middle, 2 new batters who still have to get off the mark.
Avni Patil, first ball for her. Oh, I tell you what, she was just slightly late on that, got the bat down just in time, gets off the mark.
She wasn't quite sure where that ball had gone, but Sia Gokhale just pushed her for a single. There she took off. Run, run, run was the call. She somehow managed to scamper towards the non-striker's end. She's off the mark.
Big shot attempted, mishit that a bit. And there's cover in the deep as well, so just a single. But boundaries, that's what the UAE need. For the first time since maybe the 3rd or 4th over, that run rate had snuck below 5 runs and over.
I'll tell you what, this venue is nestled in between quite a few skyscrapers, but the most important one is missing here.
Turned away off the pad, streaky single, a run-out chance. I tell you what, that was a very wide throw. They're going to come back for overthrows. Again, it's close. Oh, what happened there? Looked like she just dropped the ball, the keeper. Very eventful delivery, that. Eventful over as well. Signaled leg buys.
And that's what happens when you don't bat with each other too much in the middle. They just took off, and then they realized, okay, there's a misfield as well. We'll run for that too. Now, had the collect been clean, it would have been wicket number 9. Just get the impression that the wicket-keeper on that occasion didn't quite collect it. May have just got an odd bounce as well. Nevertheless, the batters survive. 18 gone, 90 for 8. And Shihani finishes her quota of overs, 2 for 13 for a brilliant spell.
It's the skipper back into the attack. Fires it in. Oh, an under edge, just sneaking past leg stump. Good work there, in fact, from fine leg. Keeps it down to a single.
It's not easy when the pace is taken off the ball. You need to put in that extra bit of effort. Got an under edge on this occasion. Sia gets to the other end.
They've got to bat out their overs, the UAE. Once again on that replay, we saw the ball just keeping a tad low. The UAE, they've got their fair share of slow bowlers as well. Tossed up. Can't find the gap. A useful dot ball here. But like I said, they've got their fair share of slow bowlers. The likes of Vaishnavi Mahesh, the leg spinner, she's going to have a huge role to play if the UAE want to defend this total.
Played with soft hands towards mid-wicket, another single. Now the aim is to bat out 20 overs and somehow cross that 100-run mark just for that psychological advantage. And if they can get to that, I'm sure they'll come back into the field more buoyant. Picks it up on this occasion, plays it towards deep square leg. They're running the first run fast. Very good fielding in the deep. Keeps it to 1. I'll tell you what, Sri Lanka have been very sharp this morning.
Yeah, and in fact, if there was a throw to the striker's end, it could have been yet another run out. Just throwing to the wrong end, the fielder in the deep. Sandeepani, the skipper, keeping it simple. Tossed up, that's pushed down to long off again. Only 1, just 4 runs have come off this over so far. 1 delivery left.
Jay, just looking at the way Sia and Avni have played down the ground, the pitch doesn't quite have any demon in it, to be very honest. If you actually apply yourself and play through the line, it's still a very good surface.
That's high up in the air. It should be taken. And yes, an easy catch for that mid-wicket fielder. 9 wickets down now. And that's the end of Sia Gokhale. She's going to have to walk back to the dugout. 3 off 6.
Oh yes, and a wicket for Sandeepani as well. So all the bowlers practically just finding their name in the wickets column as well. This time going for the slog sweep. Didn't quite middle it, didn't get underneath it. And another very fine catch by Imasha. Wicket number 9 goes. UAE just coming in, spending some time and walking back to the dugout. And Sri Lanka have clawed their way back exceptionally well. 94 for 9. 6 legal deliveries left in this innings. Sia walks back for 3.
I tell you what, Mikhail, my prediction, I backed the UAE as the pre-match favorites. That prediction was looking great after the first 6 or 7 overs. Now it's not looking too flash. We heard from the team manager as well. Said very happy with where we are right now, especially after that rough start. Very happy with her, the way her players fought back towards the end.
Not easy conditions, may I add. It's hot and humid. And to maintain levels of concentration and fitness calls for an exceptional effort by the athletes in the middle. Here we are in the final over. Single towards long on.
The new batter at the crease, walking in at number 11, Induja Nandakumar. She's a very promising right arm seamer as well. Induja Nandakumar did really well at that ACC Women's T20 Championship last year in Malaysia. Can she chip in with a cheeky boundary? Optimistic appeal again, but most importantly, another dot ball here for Sri Lanka A.
And Methananda has been the pick of the bowlers for Sri Lanka. 3 for 16 for her into a final, and she'll want to wrap things up. This one just drifting down leg. But what she's done very successfully is just maintained a very good line and length this morning. Bowled within the limitations and just not try to over bowl or experiment too much.
Once again on target, taken. All out for 95, the UAE. What a brilliant comeback this for Sri Lanka A. 4 wickets for Methananda. What a comeback for her. She struggled in that first over. She strikes back, not with 2, not with 3, but with 4 wickets in the innings. Mikhail, a big statement from Sri Lanka A.
Oh yes, indeed. 4 for 16 for Methananda. They get into that huddle. They'll be delighted. They'll go back to the dugout confident. But you must admit UAE got into self-destruction mode after a very good start. This is the final wicket. Kept it straight, looked to go, hit the shoulder of the bat. Another very fine catch. They've taken their catches this morning, Sri Lanka. They've inflicted the runouts. They've been sharp. And despite being under the cosh early on, they'll walk back very confident, knowing that they've done good to give them a good and realistic chance of chasing down this target.
Yeah, you get the feeling the UAE at least 20 to 30 runs short. And in fact, we were talking about a total, maybe something in the region of 140, 145. They've fallen well short of that. And they have not batted out their full 20 overs. That's a cardinal sin in the 20-over format.
Well, so many skyscrapers there in the background, but the one that was missing for UAE is quite evident. That's because they capitulated to 90-odd runs in what should have been something in excess of 110, 120. Look at that for a start. A brilliant partnership between Tirtha Satish and Isha Oza. It looked like they will take the bowlers to the cleaners, but what a comeback. Once Satish and Isha departed, then only one batter got to double figures, and that was Kushi. Kavisha managed 9, Chaya was run out. Big mix-up there. Samaira, Judith, Vaishnavi, Sia and Induja. Some didn't even trouble the scorers, and by the end of it, they managed only 95 in the final over. Only 4 extras bowled by Sri Lanka. It just goes to show the kind of discipline they maintained in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like you were saying, those partnerships, that big partnership for the second wicket between Isha Oza and Kavisha Egadegi. But it was that dismissal of Isha Oza. That's what turned the tables. After that, only one partnership actually made it into double figures. Kushi Sharma. She tried hard, 14 of 21. But it's that Isha Oza wicket when she was bowled, when she was clean bowled. That's what changed the complexion of this game. They lost their last 9 wickets for just 32 runs, the UAE.
That's quite a stat, Jay. And that is something that they will really ponder upon in the dugout. Or maybe later in the day when they have a review meeting. But look at that for partnership. Satish and Isha did manage to get 23. Then Isha and Kavisha as well, 40 of 30. Brisk start for them, confident start. After that, it was utter capitulation in the middle as things fell apart there for UAE. And I'll tell you what, this after winning the toss, they would just feel that they've undone all the good work done by the openers.
You see the highlights. Look at that. Fast start for the UAE like we spoke of. Isha Oza severe on anything. That was a little bit too straight, a little bit too leg side, picking up 2 early boundaries in her innings. But this right here was a big moment in the game. A nice catch. Timed that jump to perfection. But Isha Oza went down the ground. She favored that straight boundary. And look at that, clearing the ropes as well. Onto that tent. Watch out, cameraman. Goes down the track, clean bowled. This was the turning point, Mikhail Vaswani.
Oh yes, indeed. And after that wicket, UAE never got going. That was Chaya Mughal run out for 0. She just never made it. It was a terrible mix-up because the striker had already committed into the run, and then another LBW. Metanda was brilliant this morning. 4 wickets for her. And it was a story where UAE just kept throwing their wickets and the starts were never provided. This one as well, playing across the line to a delivery that should have played forward. Wickets kept falling in heaps. Another very good catch by Imasha. What they did exceptionally well, Sri Lanka, this morning is they took their catches and UAE just about gave it away on a platter to Sri Lanka, only to be bundled out for 95. Another wicket, another catch. After a superb start, it was all Sri Lanka-A. This was the final wicket, 95 all out UAE, and this means that the writing is on the wall for Sri Lanka-A.
I gotta say, very different the first half and the second half of that highlights package. It was boundaries galore and then followed by wickets galore. Speaking of wickets, Maitananda right up at the top, 4 for 16. The star of the show. Malsha Shahani as well, chipping in with 2 for 13. 2 wickets as well for Madhushani, 2 for 17 in her 4 overs. The UAE all out for 95.
And this means that when Sri Lanka come out to bat, they have the equation crystal clear. They'll need to get 96 in 20 overs. And this means that they will believe that they have a realistic chance of getting that target. We'll bring you the chase on the other side.
They will require 96 at exactly 4.8 runs per over in the tenth. And they're due to start in around a minute and a half from now.
That's your middle. Thank you. In. That's your leg. Thank you. 45. Right arm coming over, yeah? Yeah.
Believe that if they can begin well, they're well and truly in this chase. We're coming to you live from the Tin Kwong Recreation Ground. Chaya Mughal, the captain of UAE, to begin proceedings for a side. They need to defend 95. Remember, the first 6 overs will be very, very crucial. We're all set for ball 1 in the second innings. I'm joined by Khyati Gulani. Khyati, good morning.
Good morning, Mikhail. I think, yes, if others can do, then they can also do. That's what we have often listened. The first ball straight into the hands of mid-on fielder. There's no run on that.
Oh yes, anything is possible. Chaya Mughal missed out with the bat. Earlier in the day was run out for not. Oh, that one came in sharply. Good bowling. The batter had to adjust. And I'll tell you what, if she can create such moments, she'll certainly put pressure on the batting side.
Going towards the batter, towards the leg side. She tried to defend it beautifully. Otherwise, it was very difficult for them in the initial first over.
Oh yes, just went wide of the crease, trying to create an angle there. There again, into the pad, still to get off the mark, Sri Lanka. Khyati, in such cases, when you know you have a total of 90, something below 100, what's the discussion in the dugout by the chasing side?
I think that's what they're doing. They're just bowling into the wickets, and the fielders have to be attacking. They need to defend it anyhow, and everybody should be proactive on the toes, and captain should walk the talk.
Another very fine delivery, bowling to a field. Their captain setting the example from the front. They need to defend 95. They need to get the dot ball percentage close to 100. And so far, it's been a very fine start. 4 dot deliveries.
Yes, exactly. That's what the captain should be doing, leading from the front, and that's what Chaya is doing. Gunratne, Timeshani, the two batters for Sri Lanka.
This time played towards long on for a single. Sri Lanka-A off the mark, and so is Gunaratne. First runs on the board for them in pursuit of 96. Not easy conditions to play in, Khyati.
Yes, definitely. It's very hot and humid weather, and so players needs to stay hydrated throughout.
Another single towards long on. 2 runs coming off the first over. It's been a steady start here by Sri Lanka-A. Both the batters off the mark with a single. After over number 1, it's 2 for no loss. Day 1, match number 1, Sri Lanka-A taking on UAE in the Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup. What an opportunity for all the 8 teams. Inaugural edition. 8 teams of the full member nations versus the associate nations as well taking part in this contest. And I'll tell you what, it's a great initiative by the Asian Cricket Council, Khyati.
Yes, definitely. I would like to thank Mr. Jay Shah here, as he's the president of ACC. And it's a good exposure tour for everybody playing in these kind of conditions and playing alongside great teams like India A, Sri Lanka A. And I'm sure that they'll go back with a lot of learning here.
Vaishnavi Mahesh creating a moment, go up and huge appeal there. Practically everybody around the bat had their hands up in the air. Now watch out for Vaishnavi Mahesh. She can be quite an impact player with the ball as well. Anxious moments here for Timeshani. As you rightly mentioned, Mr. Jay Shah and his team have done a splendid job of getting this tournament readied for women cricketers across the globe. That one keeping a tad bit low. Another quick single towards mid-wicket.
Nikhil, what do you think? There's still dampness on the wicket?
One thing is certain, Khyati, the slower you bowl on the surface, the difficult it gets for the batter to actually play through the line. We saw that in the first innings as well, and that's exactly why we are seeing a spinner operating from the other end in Vaishnavi Mahesh.
Yes, exactly. That should be the ideal way to start. And it's a leg spinner. It's amazing ball. I mean, I feel that leg spinners get some time. They need some time to get the spot. But once they get the spot, they are very dangerous to play.
Right, only into the second over of this innings, and we did see a little bit of turn as well in that new ball. Goes to show that the surface is assisting spinners. This time down the leg side, flicked away towards fine. Work to do for the fielder at short fine, and they complete 2 runs. Very good cricket and running as well. Great coordination between Gunaratne and Timeshani.
Yes, I guess that this was missing, that they should be looking for 2 runs when it is going into the gap. First run should be fast in that way. I'm sure that there is a lot of learning from this kind of a cricket.
Another full delivery. Very lucky to get away with the field restrictions. Sri Lanka know the target, so they can strategize and plan this chase. But that doesn't mean that they go into the shell. They need to make full use of the first 6 overs, Khyati.
It's definitely.
Goes high and clears in emphatic style. That's a phenomenal shot there by Gunaratne. Brilliant tossed up delivery. The invitation was there. And Gunaratne says, thank you very much. A 6 to end the over. After over number 2, it's 11 for no loss.
Yes, exactly. They have the, let's see the replay. How beautifully she played. It was an effortless shot by the batter. And in these kind of matches, and when you know the target, definitely it gets easier for you to break down the innings. And batter knows how to play, what is the required run rate. It is very easy to, create the scenario for yourself and for the team.
Absolutely, Khyati. Couldn't agree with you any better. Pressure on UAE. They need a wicket. Wickets is the key for them. Chaya Mughal to continue a very fine first over. Only 2 coming off it. There again. Flicks it towards the mid-wicket region. There's cover in the deep. They're looking for the second. And that's very good running. Brilliant cricket as well. A 6 of the final delivery in the last over. 2 of this. And it looks like Sri Lanka are getting into overdrive mode.
Last delivery. Oh, yes, I mean.
Driven firmly towards covers.
They also need to look for the gaps. He's playing straight into the hands of the fielder. I think there is huge gap on the offside. They can look for it and they can steal runs from there.
This time drifting down leg, fine up in the circle. That should be 4. I'll tell you, very poor bowling. Field is set for off, and that was just going down leg. 4 more runs. Runs coming thick and fast here for Sri Lanka-A.
I think they're picking up the right balls to convert that into the boundaries. Let's see the last boundary. She played it very beautifully. There was no fielder there. Straight on the gaps and towards the boundary.
And they've raced to 17 in the third, and now they need only 79. That's what happens when you get off to a good start in a low-scoring game. Here again, down the leg. And this will not help UAE's cause. Work to do for the fielder. This time, they'll keep it to 1.
I really like the way they are calculating and taking runs in each over. The way they are playing. Sri Lanka A is 17 for 0 at the moment. That's how they should be starting. And it gets easier for the rest of the batter to taking up towards the target.
Absolutely, Khyati. You start well, you end well. And just a change in bat here for Gunaratne. She's hit a mighty 6. I wonder why does she want to change it? But is there a fixation with bats as well, Khyati, for particular batters? They don't want to change a particular bat. They feel it's the lucky bat. They're scoring well with it.
Yeah, that is still there. It used to happen in our playing days, but it is, we have just, passed on the baton to the upcoming cricketers. Yeah, they still have that kind of thing in their mind. And I feel that somehow when it works for you, then you keep continuing with the same thing.
This time looking to overhit it. This protection in the deep, a single towards long on. What I've liked about Sri Lanka-A is that they have shown great intent in the middle to find the gaps and boundaries. Khyati, if you're from the dugout of the UAE side, what different can you do to inflict a wicket?
I should set the field a little bit attacking. I should put up a slip fielder there to put the pressure. There's excellent fielding. And I'll ask all the fielders to stay on the toes, to put the pressure on the batter, and ask them to do a mistake maybe by showing them the gap.
This time, what a catch! What a catch by Captain Chaya Mughal, diving to her left of her own bowling. It's never easy, but I'll tell you what, frame this catch because this will be discussed for some time now. That was travelling and she's created a magical moment, a moment of brilliance. Timoseni has to depart, but this is what's needed in the middle. You need to pluck and pull such moments, and look at that for an effort. Wow. And they all know it. Everyone converging towards their captain skipper. What a catch they are saying. Delight and euphoria in the middle. Wicket number 1 falls for Sri Lanka-A. Umasha has to depart for it, courtesy the brilliance of UAE captain Chaya. It's 20 for 1. Khyati, just going back to the catch, how would you like to rate that effort?
I think fielding coach will be very happy in the dugout seeing such kind of performances and efforts by the fielders, and especially when the captain is leading from the front. These are excellent piece of fielding efforts. And you can see that how women's cricket is evolving by seeing such kind of performances.
Oh yes, indeed. Vaishnavi Mahesh to continue. Little expensive in the first over, went for 9. That's when Gunaratne found the big hit as well. But look at this for an effort. Wow! Just wonderful, acrobatic, and look at that as well for a reaction. Again in the air, played towards long off. Too many air balls at the moment.
Oh, there was a bit of appeal, soft appeal, but there was no chance of out. Now both the batters are talking and discussing. Yes, when you see this kind of a catch, what do you feel, Mikhail?
This is absolute brilliance in the middle. You need a maverick-like effort. And that's exactly what the captain has done. Oh, that one turned a lot as well. And that's what Vaishnavi Mahesh brings to the table. It's only the 4th over. Look at that for
Did it hit you somewhere?
some prodigious turn in the middle.
It hit you here. Okay, revoke the call of wide. That's right. Keep it there, Vaishnavi, same way. Vaishnavi has completely blocked me.
Living dangerously there. Nuthyanga. All eyes on Gunaratne. She's been there for a while, but she's up against a very talented, skillful Vaishnavi Mahesh.
Dead ball.
She'll have to reload that. Don't want to back up too much at the non-striker's end. You want to stay in. Punched off the back foot. Nice fielding there.
They're just putting all the efforts into the field, trying to defend that target. Let's see the delivery again. Beautifully she played in the covers area. There was a fielder right there to field that ball.
Throw! Very good throw.
This time using her feet, just giving the charge. What I've liked about Vaishnavi Mahesh is that she's unafraid to toss the ball, even when bowling in the power plays.
If you want to destroy the bowling of a spinner, then definitely you need to use your feet. If you want to take out the runs, definitely you need to use the feet.
This time firmly driven. Yes, no is the call, and finally they get a single. Really don't want to get into the shell. You want to rotate the strike. A much better over this time around. 5 runs coming off it. After over number 4, it's 25 for 1. The Sri Lanka dugout, they can wear a smile at the moment. They aren't in a difficult situation. They've just lost 1 wicket and the target is under 80 at the moment. It's UAE who need more wickets to just bring this contest back in balance.
Batter, new bowler, right arm coming over. Next one, please. Just a bit. Not too much.
25 for 1 after 4. Alternate midfielder. And this is the referee at the crease.
Change in bowling. Khushi Sharma introduced into the attack. Looked good with the bat. Didn't quite manage to get a big score, but she'll have a role to play with the ball.
It's definitely seeing her height. I am expecting some good piece of bowling from her. Ideal height for any bowler.
Four on the off inside the circle. Cover sweeper. Oh, gets an inside edge that could have easily just dragged onto the stumps. Living dangerously, but with a slice of luck at the moment, Sri Lanka-A, they'll get a single.
I think there is excellent piece of captaincy by Chaya. The way she's rotating the bowlers. This is tremendous. Target is small, but she is trying to get there, trying to restrict the batters.
Throw! Well ball, very well ball.
Just want to keep piling on the pressure by getting a few more dot deliveries and just force the batters to do something different. At the moment, you'd want to attack, converge more around the bat, not allow easy singles or easy runs.
Same way, Kushi.
This one just stopping on the batter, playing too early.
Still, one thing is missing. What I'm not yet seen. That
Very well
what is the
bowled,
release
well
shot of a
bowled.
batter here? When they are under pressure, there should be one release shot from which they can just bring the other batter on the strike and go to the other end and think how they can play in the gaps
Vaishnavi,
and
I'm
rotate
okay,
the
okay?
strike well.
Keep it here.
This time flick towards the mid-wicket region. Work to do for the fielders. Runs. A couple of them comfortably taken. Sri Lanka at the moment cruising along in the driver's seat despite losing the early wicket there. That's what happens when you're chasing a very meager target.
Vaishnavi, what's the angle?
A lot of runs have come in that mid-wicket region. That's something what Chaya Mughal can do, is just get a fielder and stop that. And that's exactly what she's done. She's pushed square leg to deep square leg and she's gotten short mid-wicket.
I think she heard you.
Throw!
Just plays that a little late towards backward of point.
Good throw.
Very fine piece of batting here. 2 more. So 2 on the leg side, 2 on the off side. And that's how Sri Lanka are playing their cricket.
It's exactly. This is the last ball, playing straight into the gaps. One fielder is running behind the ball. There are 2 fielders. That's what, as a coach, I would look for, that there should be chasing in pairs when the ball goes towards the boundary.
Well ball.
Much better this
Very
time.
well ball. That's over.
That's the kind of length you need to be bowling. But wickets is the key at the moment for UAE. They need to go for more wickets. We'll take a look at his delivery. Back of the lane. Watchfully defended as well.
Stay third. Yeah.
5 overs gone. And to take you through the next 5, it's going to be Jay Dansinghani and Suhas Vedam.
Change in bowling, right arm over.
Thanks, Mikhail. A steady start here for Sri Lanka A. Not the quickest start, but partnerships, that's the need of the hour. Oh, she was a bit wrong-footed there. She should have been on the front foot there, the right-hander. Isha Oza, that one just coming on with the arm. Just going on with the angle, I beg your pardon. Last over of the power play. Will she be tempted to take on that straight boundary? Waits for it, guides it away for a single. Welcome, Suhas.
Thank you, Jay. This is good approach from Sri Lanka A. It's one of the benefits of batting second as well, isn't it? You just know exactly how much to chase and you can tackle the innings accordingly. Not trying to overhit the ball, just playing according to the situation.
Straight to the fielder this time. No, you're absolutely right. And it's something we spoke about in that first innings as well. The ball just keeping a little bit low. And Sri Lanka A, they definitely noticed that. They definitely took notes. They're looking good in this chase. Isha Oza tosses it up. Big appeal, square leg, unmoved. It's a good delivery though, Isha Oza.
Sometimes the scorecard can be brutal. All that will signal is a dot delivery, but the beauty of that ball, inviting her into that drive with that beautiful flight. You don't see that in the shortest format of the game. There are shorter ones popping up as well. Good work by Judith.
Again, use of the feet, can't find the gap. I tell you what, that was actually very close to being out. She got her foot down just in time there. Sri Lanka A. They're not out of the woods yet. They're definitely favorites at this stage with the required rate less than 5 runs and over.
There's another reason UAE just love Hong Kong, because they made Isha Oza the spin bowler that she is. A couple of runs, yeah.
And there you go, end of the power play. A couple of chances created in that over, but no big deal. 31 for 1 after 6 overs, Sri Lanka A. Nothing special needed, nothing fancy. Just turn the strike over, build those partnerships, and you're going to get loose deliveries every now and then.
A very experienced Vishmi Gunaratne. You don't use that word usually when under-19 cricketers are playing, but I just sense that the experience of Vishmi Gunaratne can guide Sri Lanka A towards their first win in this tournament. 6 overs, 31 for 1. It hasn't gone without resistance though. It was a terrific catch from Chaya. And I'll tell you what, Chaya, when she took that catch, has signaled to everyone on the cricket field that these are the standards that I set for myself. These are the standards we set for ourselves.
Yeah, captain leading from the front. Here's Kushi Sharma. A little bit wide there, and I think Vishmi Gunaratne just missed out. But no, coming back to your point, Suhas, it feels weird to say, use the word experience for a teenager, Vishmi Gunaratne. I'll get back to that in a second. Yeah, there you go, missed out on that. Samaira doing the fielding on that occasion. But Vishmi, of course, captained the under-19 team. She was the top scorer for Sri Lanka as well at the under-19 World Cup. A very important player for Sri Lanka A. Can't find the gap this time. She's got a lot of time to play with as well.
And she impressed one and all with her captaincy, didn't she? The way she handled everyone. It was the first store for any team of that kind. And of course, credit to the coach as well. At that time, it was Sasikala Jayawardene, extremely experienced herself.
Turned away. Should be an easy single. They're thinking about 2. But that mid-wicket fielder comes around just in time. I think that's Sia Gokhale right there.
64 of 81 looks innocuous on a track of this kind, but the wickets, those are the key. Those are key here for Chaya Mughal and co. And can Khushi Sharma provide?
On the leg side, poor delivery. It's running down to the boundary. Just slowing up in that outfield yet again. Induja Nandakumar gets a strong throw in. I have to say, I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't seen Samaira Dharni Darka introduced into the attack yet. Of course, in the Women's Asia Cup, Samira Dharnidarka dismissed Nathyangana. I think she remembers that as well. Almost won that game, the UAE, within 11 runs of victory.
Yeah, what a game, isn't it? What a game. Oh, that'll go for 4. And it's the quickest that the outfield's been to as well. Yeah, it's the quickest it's been to. Sharma's providing the pace. Nathyangana's providing the shoulder of the bat, and that'll do.
Yeah, Nathyangana, I don't think she meant to get it that fine. But look, she's going to accept any result. It's a boundary. She's not going to complain.
Come on, Jay.
Good ball, Kushi.
You can see on this replay as well. Let's see. Did she mean to do that? Ah, okay, maybe a tad deliberate. Not that fine, Suhas. She didn't mean to get it that fine.
Sometimes the expressions change depending on what you want to tell the captain.
Guided away. Intelligent cricket. Boundary followed by a single to close out the 7th over. The score, 39 for 1 after 7. That required rate keeps coming lower and lower. It's close to 4.5 runs and over right now. In fact, 4.38 runs and over, exactly.
4.38 is innocuous. With the amount of T20 cricket that's been played around, especially 57 or 78, you take it any day if you're the batting team with 9 wickets in hand. And that's how Sri Lanka is batting. Looks like Gudaratne, 14 or 20, is quite considerate in what shot she wants to offer. Nathyangana's moved on to a runner ball 14. The control factor is just increasing by the minute. Timishan is the only wicket that they've lost owing to a brilliant catch from Chaya.
It's a good bit of work, not quite good enough. In fact, it's being sent upstairs. They're going to review this decision. Did she get back in time, Nathyangana?
I'll tell you what, it's the only wide delivery that the captain will not worry about. Isha Oza throwing it a little wider as she realizes Kaushini is dancing down the track too early. Judith, has she done the trick in time? Oh, the bat is dropped. She's not holding the bat at that time when the wheels come off. Now that could be problematic. Kaushini is in trouble. It's one thing to get back and it's quite another to hold the bat at the same time. She's not in contact with the instrument that got her there in the first place.
Yeah, mate, I tell you what, that's terribly unfortunate. She did all the hard work. She got back. She's just dropped the bat. She's lost contact with the handle as well.
Absolutely, Jay. Every time you look at a stumpy, you see how much can you stretch as a batter. But today, grip will also be a factor to discuss. The grip on the cricket bat. No problem with the front foot. Lots of problem with the back foot of the batter.
Yeah, look, I don't want to make excuses for the batter. It is very, very humid out there. Look, we take a look at this replay. Judith Peter did really, really well, fetching it from nice and wide. It's a good bit of work behind the stumps. And a big moment in the game as well.
They needed something there, UAE. They needed something to get going. And the fact that she's holding the bat now, but is this the decisive frame? Is this the decisive frame? Jay, it's a matter of frames as well. Yes, the finger's gone up. Some joy for UAE.
Yeah, absolutely. We spoke about this, a potentially massive moment in the game. Could this be the game changer for the UAE? They've picked up their second wicket. Isha Oza chipping in. Did well with the bat, doing well with the ball as well.
I'm telling you again, there's a thank you note waiting from UAE for Hong Kong, because every time she lands in Hong Kong soil, she's one of the best in the business with the ball in hand, Isha Oza.
Yeah, she's a genuine all-rounder, make no mistake about that. Usually bowls all 4 of her overs. You can see Kaushini, Nathyangana dismissed 14 of 15. Couldn't quite push on.
That's off stump.
2 wickets down. You need just a little bit of a partnership to get out of the woods. And it looks like Imisha Dulani, the new batter at the crease, walking in at number 4. Nothing fancy needed. She's got Vishmi Gunaratne at the other end. Vishmi Gunaratne, of course, that innings of 45 against India when they toured Sri Lanka. But since then, she's been a bit underwhelming.
That's one of the best innings that I've seen as well, the way she absorbed pressure in the 45. But you ask her, she'll tell you that it's a scratchy 30 that she made on a difficult track at goal. That's one of my favorites, is what she'd tell you. Oh, good ball. Isha says not worried now that the batter is sitting deep inside the crease and rocking on the back foot.
Yeah, she just defeated her in flight. Dulani wasn't sure, should I come forward, should I stay back? In the air, I tell you what, just about wide of that mid-wicket fielder. What a streaky way to get off the mark.
You called it right, it's streaky indeed. And the fact that there was no bat flow, she was so sure that she's hitting it in the gap. Dulani gets her first run. And I think with Isha Oza bowling well, can she close it out well? If she does, I'm very sure there's her father, Mr. Oza, smiling year to year, who practices spin with her of late. You ask Isha Oza who's helping you out with those spin bowling. With the spin bowling, do you have a separate coach? She says, my dad does. And she's getting lovely drift at the moment, and the height always helps.
Turns that into a full toss. A single down to Samira Darnidarka at long off to close out the 8th over. It's 41 for 2. It's been a decent day for Isha Oza, top scored in that first innings. But she looked really good for a half century, maybe more. And it was her wicket when she was clean bowled. That's what changed the complexion of the game. UAE lost their last 9 wickets for 32 runs. And you could see that match summary as well.
Yeah, 95 bundled out UAE. Isha was the top scoring with a 39. And as you mentioned, that was a turning point in the game. Satish is 16 or 10. It looked really good when they started off, Isha and Satish, and then things went down south for UAE. Things went very south. Sri Lanka A, in reply, they've been good enough. 41 for 2. Just a couple of jolts, but those have been owing to some brilliance on the cricket field by UAE, especially the skipper. One of them. The wicket, the first wicket, I thought was phenomenal. From the intensity standpoint, how much are you impressed, Jay? Already, it's the first game. And from the intensity standpoint, I understand it's turning out to be one-way traffic at the moment. It's not a close game as of now, but the intensity has been magnificent from both the sides.
Yeah, I tell you what, the UAE, they definitely still believe. And I love the way Sri Lanka fought back as well in that first innings. Ooh, bit of a wide half volley. It's only going to be a single. Kavisha Egadegi, the new bowler, into the attack. But no, absolutely. The fight shown by Sri Lanka A in that first innings. They were down and out. They took some brilliant catches as well.
Kavisha has played some cricket in Sri Lanka now against Sri Lanka.
Did a bit of bowling as well at the Fair Break Invitational for the Barmy Army team. Batted in the middle order for them as well.
Same way, Kavi, go for dot balls.
We've seen that recently, Kavisha Egadegi, I beg your pardon.
There you go. The Kavisha Kumari works just fine.
I had the pleasure of interacting with Kavisha at the Fair Break Invitational. She made it a point to teach all of us commentators exactly how to pronounce her last name.
Clearly, she hasn't succeeded.
Don't keep that much up, Kavi.
It's the heat, Suhas. The heat's getting to me.
A very quiet over so far. Dealing in singles because singles would do Sri Lanka A. When you keep rotating the strike like that, it gets a little difficult for a bowler being introduced as well, as she will not get the momentum. Momentum is something that you get when you're bowling to the same batter over and over.
Swept away. Oh, risky run, I tell you what. A clean gather, was shy at the stumps. It could have been the 3rd wicket down. That square leg fielder maybe missing a bit of an opportunity. Let's take a look at this replay. Swept away. She ran for the shot there. You can't do that. It's a cardinal sin. Like I said, a clean gather in Duja Nandakumar could have effected a run out. Nonetheless, at the halfway stage, Sri Lanka A are 46 for 2. Oh, apologies. 9 overs in. I beg your pardon. Just 50 runs required now of the last 11 overs.
50 of 11 overs with 8 wickets in hand. Sri Lanka A looking to put their first 2 points on the board. There's nothing better in any tournament around the world to start with a win. Nothing better for the side. Isha Oza, this is going to be gold dust. This over from Isha Oza is going to be gold dust, as it'll also decide if Chaya wants to continue with Isha Oza and finish her off around the 12th over mark, or save an over of hers for the 16th. But at the moment, they need wickets and they need their best bowlers to be bowling. UAE.
Again swept away, well in front of square on the leg side. Just going to pick up a single here, Imisha Dulani. But I tell you what, Suhas, if I was Chaya Mughal, I would not be looking to save any overs. Use my best bowlers right now. Try and get a 3rd wicket, try and get a 4th wicket. Put some real pressure on Sri Lanka A and give yourself a shot at defending 96. Cut away off the back foot. Again, just a single. They're not going to mind Sri Lanka A. Singles, more than good enough.
Yeah, true, they're inching towards the 50 mark. Let's see who Khati Gulani has to talk to.
Well ball, very well ball, throw. Well ball.
Suddenly we just sent the player to them to go ahead with the spinners. So finally we just got to succeed with that. Alright, that's a strategy. One line we have to contain with the spinner because the wicket is quite slow, so that can be a big advantage for our team. So that's one strategy we just applied. So we succeed for that.
How are you finding the conditions? What do you think? Is it apt for cricket, or it is going against the will of the cricketers? Will they be happy to play on such conditions?
On that question, I can say that as a cricketer, they are much ready to play any condition. That's what they are learning from the childhood. So we are preparing them for the play all kind of situations, all kind of conditions. They must adopt. That's what I got to say.
Great. And what is the atmosphere in the dugout right now?
Yeah, pretty cool. It's in our control at the moment. We are just keeping tight in the bowling side. And meantime, so our captain is going to apply a couple of strategies what we planned yesterday.
That's great. Thank you so much, Mr. Rijit.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Khyati. Very insightful indeed. 50 for 2 at the halfway mark. And it's Driggs.
Yeah, 50 for 2. And most definitely, I gotta say, Sri Lanka A, the happier of the two teams right now. They only need 46 in the final 10 overs. And I have a feeling, Suhas, the game is not going to go that deep. See the scorecard. Nothing fancy for Sri Lanka A, but Vishmi Gunaratne looking solid. 20 not out, right at the top of the order. Bit of a chance here for the UAE after Isha Oza got Nathyanggana outstumped.
When you look at that, Sandeepan Ishihani, Sewandi, Methana, this batting lineup is never ending. Do you believe that Sri Lanka A is one of those sides where the batter coming in last perhaps will take offense if you call her a tail ender? Because everyone can bat.
May I tell you what, Sri Lanka A definitely don't want the game to go that deep. They don't want their number 8s, number 9s, number 11s coming in. I can guarantee you. And Vishmi Gunaratne, a great player to have out in the middle right now. A very calm head. We saw that throughout the Under-19 World Cup as well.
It's also important for Sri Lanka-A to get their best batters out there to get some game time as this tournament progresses, because towards the business end you want them to have enough game time under their belt and for them to be in good form, and of course they need to be well versed with the conditions that Tim Kwong Cricket Ground needs to offer.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring up the conditions as well, because it's a bit of a learning curve on this, not just on this wicket, but given the ground dimensions. We've spoken many times about that short, straight boundary at the Argyle Street end, where we're sitting right now, the Argyle Street end. And Isha Oza, she learned quickly. She learned that this straight boundary, that's the one I need to target. She pumped 2 maximums over long on as well. She's been the best batter today. Unfortunately for the UAE, nobody else has stepped up. It's just Isha Oza.
And that's the reason. That's the reason that they didn't reach the 3 figures. But if they would have planned a little better and executed much better, I think 130 was on the cards.
Yeah, no doubt. We were talking about 140, 145 in fact, halfway through that first innings. But now it's the run out of Chaya Mughal as well.
Yeah, very true. With Chaya Mughal departing without contributing much, I think more than just the runs that she contributes, her presence in the middle also helps their partners because she's able to guide them through different phases of the game. Just the experience aspect of it.
Well ball,
50 for 2 at the end of 10 overs. We'll have change in voices. Mikhail and Kathy will take you through the next 5.
Thank you, Suhas, and that's a crisp looking shot towards covers. Sri Lanka-A playing very sensible cricket at the moment. They're just about keeping things very simple, and they're in pursuit of 96, and the aim is to keep wickets in hand and do it without too much of confusion.
Yes, exactly, Mikhail. They're playing smart cricket here. Using the feet straight in the fielder's hand, but still they got successful to take 1 run.
And Kathy, what I've seen about the Sri Lankan batters is that they've used their feet on a couple of occasions today, unafraid to give the charge, pick the length early.
Yes, definitely. That's how you play the spinners, and they definitely know how to play against the spinners, as they have a lot of spinners in their team as well. So they have been practicing back home. That's how you can destroy any spinner's line and length.
Oh yes, the aim is to never allow bowler to settle. They're again pitched up too full on this occasion, and that's where UAE need to really change their length. I just feel this morning they've been too full, and they need to just pull that length a little back. There again, nicely driven towards long off.
Spinners' art is to deceive the batsmen by their flight and turn, and I think they're just doing it successfully. But still, the batters are managing to take 1 run each ball.
There again, gives the charge straight to the fielder at mid-off. It's a straightforward chase at the moment. Sri Lanka looking good, 11 gone, it's 53 for 2. And Kathy, I need to ask you this question. Do you feel that the surface has gotten better to bat on in the second innings, or you've not seen much change?
I think it's getting better as the day is progressing. It looks to be a little bit harder than earlier. And yes, I think that in the second game it will be much better if we play on the same wicket.
Right, as we know, the sun is beating really hard, and it's going to be a sun-baked surface out here. We're coming to you live from the Mission Road ground here in Hong Kong, also known as the Tin Kwong Recreation Ground. Match number 1, day 1 of the Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup. Isha Oza to continue. 43 needed in 53. 9 out of 10 times the chasing side will reach home comfortably.
Yes, exactly. They're calculating it well, playing it well. It's very good to see such things. Or there's a little bit of a misfielding. The batters were successfully reached their crease after taking 1 run.
Kushi Sharma, they're doing the fielding at long off. Very tidy with the ball this morning, Kushi. Did contribute a bit with the bat as well. They're again much fuller, much to the liking of any batter. What the Sri Lankan batters have done consistently is played in the wheel. That's something most coaches tell their batters as well, Khyati. I'm sure you'll endorse this thought.
Yes, definitely. But then if we talk about T20 cricket, they should be improvising the batting style, playing 360 degrees. Oh, there was a field there, but yeah, it's out. It's LBW given by the umpire.
Are we seeing a twist in the tail? That's the big wicket of Gunaratne. Was looking good, but this time she pulled the length a bit back. Just about turned a bit after pitching. And Gunaratne just played around it, rolled her wrist over it and missed it completely. Wicket number 3 goes for Sri Lanka-A. She's not too pleased, but Vishmi has to walk back for 21 and 32. Wicket number 3 falls here for Sri Lanka-A. Isha Oza strikes. She's been in the thick of things, bat and ball. Sri Lanka-A 54 for 3.
They would have little more runs on the scoreboard. I'm sure they would have given a good fight to the team, to the UAE team. I'm sorry, to the Sri Lankan team. On every occasion, they're trying to scalp the wicket. The kind of line and length, the tight bowling they're bowling today, it seems to be very commendable. Satya Sandeepni on the crease.
And what a time for the captain to come in. 42 needed in 50. Another delivery that's just about into the batter. Isha has bowled well into a 4th, given away only 10. But look at that for a wicket. Just got the impression that may have been a little high. Was turning as well. Another loud appeal, turned down immediately. Anxious moments here for the batter, but excited fielders around the bat. Brilliant spell this by Isha Oza. Contributed 39 with the bat, and this time around finishes with figures of 2 to 10 in her 4. "12 gone, it's 54 for 3. "42 of 48. Tulani and Sandeepani in the middle. Sri Lanka bat deep. Once again, we'll take a look at this wicket. It's just trying to work that towards fine leg. And pretty similar to the delivery that got Gunaratne out. We're back live. Single towards long off.
I think this is the ideal way to play the spinners. With the spin or against the spin, they're trying both the things, and they are pretty much successful also in that. Kavisha bowling her 3rd over. I think this kind of a wicket is really assisting the spinners. And if I say it the other way, that now the spinners have got the spot where to bowl. Playing straight into the hands of the cover fielder. There's no run.
Same way, Kavi, same way.
This time picks it from outside of off and plays it towards mid-wicket. You don't want that asking rate to climb. They can still do it in singles. That should be the plan.
Yes, it's the easiest way to reach there. Why to take risk when you can make the runs through singles?
That'll be an extra delivery and a run as well. You don't want to concede extras, especially when you're defending 95. Just got a wicket, couple of wickets here, Khyati, and this game is split wide open.
Yes, definitely. They need to take out 2-3 more wickets of the main batters.
Yes!
They're trying to play along the ground. They're not taking any such risks. Playing very smartly.
You don't want to take it into the deep end as well.
Yes!
Keeping things very tight at the moment, UAE. Stump to stump, as you would say in cricketing lingo. This time much better. Another single towards long on, and that's what they need to keep doing and find that odd boundary. Another over comes to an end. It's been a quiet one. Sri Lanka 58 for 3 in 13. 38 needed in 42.
Both the batters are discussing what should be the strategy from now onward. I think they are walking the talk. They just what they are discussing with each other. That's what they're trying to execute. That's how it has to be. What you say, you should do.
Well, she'll have to have some thinking. Her thinking cap on. The captain, the Chaya Mughal, work to do for UAE, and they need to strike. They need wickets. Wickets is the only way they can come back into this game. Else this match is slipping out of their hands, and that's why when you need wickets, you go to your most trusted aid, and that is Vaishnavi Mahesh, the leg spinner. She can be a handful now that the ball may have just lost that extra bit of shine. Sweeps and sweeps towards fine leg for another single. Sandeepani is back on strike.
I think it will be great if she can keep this ball on the offside and put the batter in under the pressure, as there is no fielder on the leg side towards the fine leg area. So you should be bowling as per the field.
Wonderfully bowled. Not too sure if that was the right shot to play to a leg spinner. Ball pitching on middle and off, and you're trying to sweep that towards square leg. Ideally, you'd want to play through the line. But that's what Vaishnavi Mahesh brings to the table. She brings in suspense. She brings in some amount of anticipation as well in the field.
Same line, Vaishnavi.
Interestingly, I have not seen any sweeps so far, as this is the second shot you can use using the feet. There's no fielder. Fielder tried that, and it goes for a boundary. The fielder tried to cover the distance, but somehow she could not reach there, and it goes for a boundary. It was a tremendous shot by the batter.
Much needed boundary, breaking the shackles there. Skipper Sandeepani deciding to take the attack to the opposition. She had to do something different, took it on the full, just bludgeoned it towards the mid-wicket region. There again gives the charge once again, not quite to the pitch of the ball. Yes, no. Don't want to run out. We saw what happened with UAE when they lost their captain Chaya Mughal. Things just fell apart.
Yes, definitely. I think there is no need to take such risks. And I'm sure by now UAE team has also learned that there's no point taking the risks when you can take it easily. The ball was in the air for some time, but there was no fielder. One easy single taken by both the batters.
Yeah, when you have a chase of 96 on, you practically know how and well to get it. And that's exactly what Sri Lanka-A are doing. Minimum risk, maximum runs is the policy. Getting the odd boundary, rotating the strike. Stand around, works it towards square leg and steals another single. This is very good cricket. And it's been a good over as well, a costly one here for Vaishnavi Mahesh. Sri Lanka 65 for 3 after 14.
Little bit of wind coming.
65 for 3 after 14, 31. Sri Lanka-A needs to win off 36.
This is very interesting to see when after every over both the batters are discussing the strategy for the next over. It's very good and smart cricket by both the batters.
What's good for Dulani is that she has a captain at the other end, Sandeepani, so she's getting the right and the best advice she could have got. And that's why they're constructing this chase without any anxiety or pressure. Kavisha to continue into a final over. That one kept low. Again, she just tried to overhit this one. Big gap between bat and pad.
Yes, exactly. I think she's looking for that gap. It's a huge gap between point and covers.
Yes!
Much better this time. Closer to the ball. Good shape. Single towards long off. Why hit the boundaries when you can do it in singles, Khyati?
Come on.
Yes, definitely. I really don't find any reason to take such risks. Again, using the feet, and there's one fielder, but still they were successful to take one run.
Quite a view from here. We can see everything, the mountains and the backdrop, some skyscrapers as well. Much better delivery, quicker through the air. Just keeping it wide of the batter. 67 for 3, 96 to get.
Tight, come on, go for the dot balls, come on. Yes! Good, very good, Kavi.
Missing out there, full delivery should have been converted
Very
into
good.
a scoring
Go for the
opportunity.
dot ball, same way, Kavi. Very good. It's going good, Kavi.
Good partnership brewing here between Dulani and Sandeepani.
Yes.
This time,
What?
just about plays it
Throw,
towards
very good
mid-wicket
throw.
region.
Good throw.
Not the most good looking of shots, but effective to get her a single. "15 gone, 68 for 3, and to take you through the final 5 overs, it's going to be Suhas Vedam and Jay Dansinghani.
Thumbs up.
Thanks, Mikhail. 28 needed off the last 30 deliveries. Tell you what, earlier in the broadcast I said I don't think the game is going to go that deep, but you have to give credit to these UAE bowlers. They've been very disciplined with their lines and their lengths in the last half an hour or so. Isha Oza especially 2 for 10 in her 4 overs. What a spell that was. And Kavisha, she's just bowled out as well. 0 for 15 in her 4 overs. Crunch time. This is such an important over and a change in bowling. For the first time today, Induja Nandakumar coming in from the Argyle Street end. Suhas Vedam is back with us, and Suhas, that short straight boundary, it could spell trouble for the UAE.
Come on, girls. 5 more.
They're
go
going to
for
put
dot
that out of the
balls.
mind and put the ball in the right area. It's going to be a little difficult against Dulani, who's batting on 14 or 26. Not scared of offering the shots. And a single like that would do at this moment. And Induja Nandakumar. Oh, what a prodigious talent she has been. And for someone of her age, 16, 15, 16, to be operating usually in the power play. That's where we see her. Just tells you how much respect and faith that she's earned
Yes!
so early in her career. And that augurs well.
I like what she did there as well, just roll the fingers over that delivery. A very useful dot ball at this stage. But no, you're right, Induja Nandakumar, a central figure in that under-19 World Cup squad as well for the UAE. Did so well at the ACC Women's T20 Championship. 27 off 28, that required rate close to 6 runs and over. Big
that
shot,
should be
it's high
taken.
in the air. And yes, Suhas, it is taken by that mid-wicket fielder. 27 needed off 27. They've lost their captain, Satya Sandeepani.
Induja provides the breakthrough. Can this be the little opening that they were requiring, UAE? Can this open the floodgates? That's what they would believe at LANKA-A. Despite losing the skipper, are just shrugging it off, saying this game is in the pocket. Still had to be taken. It still had to be taken. Oh, well done. Just for a moment, I thought she was circling around it and not under control, but eventually she was able to tame it. 69 for 4 with the departure of Captain Sanjeevani. Satya Sandeepani, I beg your pardon. 69 for 4 Sri Lanka-A. Induja has answered the call of the captain yet again. Chaya Mughal would be mighty pleased with Induja's efforts. I think the catch was just made to look easier. There was some difficulty in that take, especially with the wind ensuring that the piece of leather swirls around a little bit.
Yeah, that's covering leg.
Yeah, and Vaishnavi Mahesh just indicating maybe the sun also just getting in her eyes. But she did well.
3 balls.
And look at that, the complexion of this game has changed. 27 needed of 27. And I tell you what, I'm not brave enough to call a winner right now.
Those are the kind of games that you want to see as well. A run ball 27 required. Doesn't pierce it through the gap. The non-striker wanted that run. I think Dulani will quietly walk up to Metananda and say that you are just hallucinating. There isn't a single there.
Yeah, sent back just in time. Metananda. Take a look at this replay. Her first delivery. Oh, look at that. The ball keeping low again. Bit of a hesitation there from Samaira Dharni-Darka. Not sure what end should I throw at.
Just for the doctor order. Simple, effective, and less risk involved. Presenting the full face of the bat, guiding it in the gap. Now, Induja Nandakumar, why I'll tell you this particular spell is going to be something that she'll learn a lot from. Picks up a wicket. Oh, well, eventually caught it. Avni.
Easy catch, easy catch.
Is this another? Is this another? It is! Induja is providing breakthroughs, and she's doing so just at the right time. Chaya would now believe, let's take this game as close as possible. And this is complete harakiri from Sri Lanka-A, with the equation reading a run ball 26.
Induja strikes again, and the temptation of that short boundary strikes again. 2 wickets in the over. The UAE now looking really, really good. 26 still needed off 24. It's the end of Dulani. Walks back to the dugout. 15. Still 26 needed, like I said. There's 70 for 5 after 16.
Now a few of the players dispersed from what was an elongated chat from Chaya. I think it's about next 24 balls being absolutely perfect for UAE. As far as Sri Lanka-A are concerned, the game's still very much in their pocket, 26 or 24. That's because they bat deep. Vaishnavi Mahesh hasn't had the best outing with the ball in hand today.
Vaishnavi, this is the 2 overseas crucial numbers.
And that's the upshot of the game so far. 95 for UAE after winning the toss and choosing to bat first. Sri Lanka-A were quite content, just making sure that UAE don't cross the 3 figures. Isha Oza top scoring for UAE, and Metananda brilliant with the ball in hand. 4 for 16 and just 3.3. Sri Lanka-A in reply is 70 for 5 thanks to Induja's 2 jolts, and she's taken as many wickets as the run she has given. If this is the language she wants to speak, then UAE are in good hands. Vaishnavi Mahesh, 3 overs, 20 without a wicket. But Chaya trusts her in this crunch situation. She's perhaps saying, 2 new batters at the crease, Vaishnavi, here's your chance. Now will she provide the much needed breakthrough? Vaishnavi Mahesh would be her first. Khyati was mentioning the lack of sweep shots. Here comes one when the situation is turning slightly tight only because there are 2 new batters at the crease, and we've seen funny things happen before.
Yeah, no doubt. Only singles will not do it for Sri Lanka-A now. You feel like they need a boundary sometime soon to just release some of that pressure. Vaishnavi Mahesh bowling to that longer straight boundary. Here she is. Can she make a breakthrough? Tosses it up. Beautiful. Once again, a bit of purchase off the surface. That's what happens when you just slow it up a tad, like we see on this replay. Gave it plenty of air. Oh, Suhas, that was beautiful.
It's so heartwarming to see for any leg spinner, isn't it? Some more flight. But this time it's been put away. Sweep shot put to great use as well. Vaishnavi Mahesh just realizing that by the minute, the area that she needs to land the ball at is just reducing. The margin of error is very much truncated. Beautifully played there. Then the sweep shot was on with a kind of field off it.
Vaishnavi, it's in your hand. Come
Will
on.
there be a change in field
Go for
after this
downwards.
shot? No, Chaya believes this is still the best angles that I can provide for Vaishnavi to pick up a wicket. Sandamani quite content.
Throw.
And Sandamani is someone who has so much time to rock back on the back foot, let the ball turn, then meet.
Yeah, that's one thing. You don't want to be bowling too short on this surface. There's plenty of time as a batter if you receive a short delivery. But right on cue as well, that boundary. We were talking about how they needed a boundary in this over. And that's just brought the run rate back down, the required rate down to a run a ball. 2 deliveries left in the 17th. Mahesh.
Oh, much better. I think that appeal was an afterthought. Vaishnavi was pleading. The amount of flight is just increased, just tells you how big a heart a spinner needs to have. That's after being struck away for 4. Now, it's not been a spell that she would want to remember, but can she close it out well?
Throw.
Another sweep shot.
Very good.
This time straight to the fielder. A dot ball to finish. Vaishnavi finishes with none for 26. Sri Lanka-A 76 for 5.
The plot thickens. The plot thickens here at the Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground, more affectionately known as Mission Road. There you go, dense foliage, greenery in the background, a couple of skyscrapers. We got King George V School as well down the street. Don't forget, it's a double header today on Monday. We got Bangladesh A against Malaysia. They're going to square off at 1:30 p.m. local time. That's 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time, 3:30 in Sydney. And I tell you what, I'm not worldly enough to convert that time into other time zones. But the great thing is you can watch this game, not just on Fan Code, but also live on the official ACC YouTube page.
Throw.
Beautifully guiding into the gap. Just tells you the risk factor minimum. Efficacy heightened. Sometimes the kind of shots that come out of the bat depend a lot on the conditions, depend a lot on the situation, and less on the skill factor of the batter herself, because Methananda and Sandamani, both of them very experienced batters. Just a chip over the infield. And Sandamani, as you would know, usually believes in higher denominations of the game only. Very, very busy cricketer. 2 more taken.
Yeah, well judged second run, in fact. I thought maybe they'd settle for just a single, play it safe. But they ran with conviction, they ran early, they turned early for that second one, ran the first one hard.
Is that another? No, it's going to land safely. Much to the delight of Sri Lanka-A, but the good thing is, neither is Methananda nor Sandamani ball watching. They're quite content to go back for the second run. These are the little things that the young girls watching can learn.
Once again, not quite getting a clean enough connection. Going maybe a little more leg side than she first intended. But the important thing is, second time and 2 deliveries, they've come back for that second run. It makes a big difference if you can turn those 1s into 2s.
What's better than learning from your idols, isn't it? Oh, this one, slight misfield from young Samara Dharnidharka. And by the time the throw was dispatched, the damage had already been done. They've got to create opportunities here, UAE, to stay in the game. A run ball 14, it's getting tighter. Just get a feeling with the kind of shots being offered in this particular over that Sri Lanka-A do not want to take it very deep.
2 balls left. She tries to go big, doesn't quite get enough of it. Enough to get a single down to Kushi Sharma at long off.
Someone who provides breakthroughs, known as the partnership breaker as well. You were there in the ICC Academy when she took her first fifer against Bhutan. We were on comms. That's a terrific hit. She was running around it for a moment, Kavisha. And a good throw as well to the far end. But still those 2 runs would be complete. I think the route that Sri Lanka A are taking is twos and singles in between to the 11 required of 12 balls. But it's getting tighter by the minute. 85 for 5.
Yeah, I love the intent though. 9 runs off that over. They ran everything. They ran all 9 runs, Sri Lanka A. And the good thing for them, they still have 5 wickets in hand. 11 needed off 12, like you said. Sandamani with an early boundary, that sweep shot for 4. That was such an important hit. And a nice little mini phase here for Sri Lanka A. 15 runs coming in the last 12 deliveries. Might not sound like a lot, but in the context of a low-scoring game, it's been a really good last 5 or 6 minutes for Sri Lanka A.
Yeah, no surprises for guessing who's going to bowl the penultimate over. It's Chaya Mughal. She understands that 11 or 12 balls, a couple of dot balls, can eke out a mistake from the batter. But Sandamani, who's very experienced, can she get a boundary ball early on to absolutely crush this equation, which at the moment is definitely tight. Chaya, she's got to curtail that line as well. You can't afford to go down the leg side under pressure. Oh, a couple of false starts. It's just the batter wasn't ready. Much better line, and would you believe it? This is what Judith Jose is so good at. Crunch moments, doesn't matter, she'll stand up.
Yeah, she was so good with that stumping as well that allowed UAE to work themselves back into the game. Judith Peter, nice to see her back behind the stumps for the UAE. Chaya Mughal, great way to start the penultimate over. 11 off 11.
The best start is a dot ball. A dot ball of the best kind is a wicket. Oh, that's through the gap. Beautifully opens the face of the bat, and she's scored for 2. And it shall be 2 easy runs in the end. Runs required in single digits. Boy, is it getting tighter.
Yeah, that overnight rain just helping the UAE there. Once again, the outfield just about slowing up. But a big call as well from Judith Peter saying, throw to me, throw to me. You know, whenever the wicketkeeper is loud, vociferous and engaged, and you know the fielding side, they're feeling good. 9 needed off 10.
Easy catch. Throw,
Right field setting for the situation. Just understood that Sandamani is quite content in opening the face of the bat a little more. Now what Chaya has done by bringing Jose Judith up is that she's curtailed the batter to not venture out, so that if there is any hint of swing, the batter's got to negate it. The batter's got to face it.
Throw.
I thought it was a comfortable height full toss. She could have tried something better. Metananda is content taking that single. Now Sandamani, 10 of 8, looking for one break free shot. And where's it going to come?
Come on, Chai, come on, same way, it's going good, you can, come on.
You were checking the field just before this delivery as well. What are the options here, Jay?
Well, there are 5 fielders inside the circle, 2 on the leg side, 3 on the offside.
Yes! Only
Calls for 2 again. 1 for the shot, 1 for the throw, and it shall be that. It's a good collect from Chaya, but better running. Milking the bowling at the moment. And it seems to be doing the trick for Sri Lanka A.
Yeah, they're just one big hit away now, Sri Lanka A. 1 boundary away from tying the scores. You can see on this replay, ooh, a bit of an ugly full toss there. Didn't quite get it off the middle of the bat either. They've been so good at this. They're running the first ones hard, Sri Lanka A, and that's been the difference in the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Absolutely right, Jay.
Easy, throw!
Straight to the fielder, but still that single will be taken. Oh, it's a direct hit. Direct hits are always tricky. I think she's produced a direct hit, and this would be the best time to do so. UAE believe that they've got the person, and from the first looks of it, The batter is in trouble. Sandamini knew that it's gone straight to the fielder. Little did she realize that the throw would be arrow-like and accurate. Now UAE wait with bated breath towards the third umpire.
It's a big next minute coming up in the context of this game, in the context of the tournament. The stumps have been disturbed. Has it been disturbed by the ball or Chaya Mughal's hand? She tried to get her hand out of the way. Yeah, no, it's definitely ball hitting stumps first. This should be the 6th wicket here for the UAE.
She's gone by a margin.
We're going to look at another angle, Suhas, just to be thorough, just to make safe. Might not have another angle. We might not need another angle, Suhas. It looked pretty good to me. It looks like this should be the 6th wicket.
What does the third umpire think? I think that direct hit from Vaishnavi Mahesh, I assume, is fabulous. She's produced a moment of magic at the right time, because UAE will have the momentum then. Sri Lanka-A would have some thinking to do. It's still not over.
I tell you what, I'm waiting with bated breath. I'm on the edge of my seat. We've got another angle, and that angle confirms it. The UAE have already celebrated. Down on her feet, Sandamini and Metananda. And there you go, the decision comes in. 6 wickets down, 91 for 6. We're going to head into the last over. What a way to kick off the ACC Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup. It's a last over thriller. Suhas Vedam, 5 needed off 6. Who are you backing?
5 needed off 6, and the beauty is you can't back anybody. This is getting tight to too tight for comfort for Sri Lanka-A. And I think it's going to be Khushi with her experience bowling the last over, because Induja went for 9 in the previous, remember. What do you reckon? I think it's going to be pace for sure. Yeah, looks like it's going to be Khushi. Khushi Sharma has got a cushion of 4 runs, 6 balls, 5 required for Sri Lanka-A. 1 shot will do the trick with the shorter boundaries. But would she be tempted to go for the big shot first up? Metananda has been there for 10 balls. Shehani has just joined her.
Yeah, I tell you what, if it's in the slot, if it's in the arc, it has to go out of the park. Target that straight boundary. Target the commentary box.
2 helmets, please, in the commentary box. Malsha Shehani. Now Malsha Shehani, known as a prolific hitter. Now Khushi Sharma would rely a little bit on a slower deliveries, and it's just so invigorating to watch a keeper stand up to Khushi Sharma, who's got that extra bit of pace. Tells you that if there's ever a bravery award to be given, Judith Joes, Peter, requires it. She deserves it. 4 of 5. 4 of 5. Khushi Sharma nerves of steel. Shehani has done the right thing, wasted no time, absolutely. Puts Metananda at the business end. What's it going to be? Still a hinder swing on offer. And this one came back in. Direct hit would need required. All run out would still do. Judith, absolutely brilliant. Hadn't gotten up from her keeping position. Little did she realize Sharma would bowl and then throw as well.
This game is the gift that keeps giving. The plot continues to thicken at Mission Road. And it's a big wicket as well. Khushi Sharma keeping it nice and straight, making no mistake with that throw back to the keeper. And you're going to see the striker, the non-striker, was nowhere in the frame. 4 needed off 4.
The striker as well is not too far away. She was looking at the strikers end while she was running to the non-strikers, because she knew a run out could be affected. Sri Lanka-A suddenly realized that the 22 yards looked like 100. They lose another to a run out. And Khushi Sharma in her follow through was absolutely magnificent to have also chosen the right end to throw at. Judith reacts so quickly. Another moment which changes the game drastically. Rashmi comes to the middle. Now the batter who spent more time considerably is manacled to the non-striker's end, and Khushi Sharma would be bowling to a new one. Manages that single. The question is, will she come back for the second? Oh, it's an afterthought, but the throw is wrong. The throw was too wide and too high for even Khushi Sharma. I thought there isn't a mango on the mango tree that Khushi Sharma cannot get to with a little jump, but that throw was really, really high.
Yeah, no, once again, they ran that first one really, really quickly. The non-striker, great job backing up. 2 needed off 3 deliveries. And if they win, if they get over the line, Sri Lanka A, a big reason for that is turning those 1s into 2s.
Have UAE missed a trick here, Jay? Because they haven't changed the field. The angles are still the same. The single is on offer. And yes, they'll get the single. Sri Lanka A will get the single. Scores are level. 1 required of 2 balls.
UAE, you've got to bring the field up at this stage. Like you said, 1 needed off 2 deliveries. One needed, 2 deliveries. Top edge, they're going to run for it. They're going to run for it. They're going to get through. Sri Lanka A, they're going for a second run. They don't need to. That's it. That's the victory. Sri Lanka A, an absolute thriller, winning in the last over on the first day of the ACC Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup. Suhas, what a game.
Oh, a terrific game indeed. Khushi Sharma fought till the end, but it's Sri Lanka A who held their nerve better. Methananda staying there till the end, doing a lot more running and calling than batting, as Silva it was who finishes with 3 of 2, producing the run that'll take them home. It was too close. They didn't have to take it this close, but Sri Lanka A finally triumphed, and those 2 points would add value and a lot of confidence to their kitty.
Tell you what a topsy-turvy game. At one stage, we thought the UAE were going to get up to 140, 145. They fell well short of that. In spite of that, they made really, really tough work for Sri Lanka A. Sri Lanka A, they should have got there a lot faster, I gotta say. But this game being played in great spirits, handshakes, hugs between the opposition players. They've given us an absolute treat to kick off this tournament here in Hong Kong. You gotta give credit to UAE. They fought hard.
Oh yes, the fact that they took it so deep, it's a magnificent effort indeed. But Sri Lanka A triumph, and they do so with 1 ball to spare. They would have wanted to get there quicker. They would have definitely wanted to get there quicker. But out of the 2 teams, the better team has won today, as simple as that. Sri Lanka A did not get the advantage of the toss, but they ensured that UAE were bundled out before the 3 figures were reached. And with the bat in hand, they did falter a little bit, but eventually scraped through. A win is a win. And those 2 points will give them a lot of confidence going ahead in this tournament.
Yeah, what a game, winning with just 1 delivery to spare. Check out the scorecard right at the top. Vishmi Gunaratne, 21 of 32, but dismissed at the wrong time. Trapped in front by Isha Oza, who's fantastic. She's the one who turned the game and gave the UAE a bit of a chance. Induja Nandakumar striking twice in the space of 1 over, dismissing Dulani and captain Sandeepani. 96 for 7. 19.5 overs. It went to the last over.
Yeah, those 2 run-outs really changing the complexion of the game. Vaishnavi with a direct hit, dismissing Sandamini. And after Sandamini's exit, Shehani was run out too. Silva, cool, calm and collected, strikes the ball cleanly, picks up a couple of runs when only 1's required, and into the game. Oh, it's been a brilliant second innings as well. When it connects, it goes a long, long way, doesn't it, Jay? Especially with the shorter boundary, it just looks like it's going to land inside TST.
Look at that catch. Chaya Mughal definitely making the highlights package. Captain leading from the front. Ah, look at that. An outside edge, not deliberate. But Sri Lanka, it's when Isha Oza came into the attack. There you go. That stumping from Judith Peter. That's when They started to believe, the UAE.
Absolutely, and with this finger going up, Sri Lanka suddenly found themselves in trouble. Too flighted for her liking. But what I loved about that little phase is that Induja was served a very difficult situation from which she brought her team back into the game with 2 wickets. One of those catches being this one, and in that same over, a good catch by Kavi Oregadagi. I think she never took her eyes off the ball, and that's the trick. And the sweep shots were magnificently deployed at the right time. Chaya starting with a dot ball, creating the opportunity. Vaishnavi Mahesh with a direct hit when it mattered the most. Chaya knew that she's got the wicket. And then not even turning back to see would there be a better opportunity. She just believes there, Khushi, that the keeper can do the job. Tried her best to sort of put it straight to the nearest fielder, but the second run was taken where only one was required, but 3 of the fielders were discussing, is the game over or no? It eventually was, as it's the women in blue who triumphed today. Sri Lanka-A pick up the 2 points.
I love that. Take the second run just in case. You never know. You might need it. What a thriller. I wonder if that misfield as well of the penultimate delivery just cost UAE the game. Let's take a look at that bowling card. 2 for 11 in Duja Nandakumar, taking 2 in 1 over. But it's Isha Oza, gave nothing away whatsoever. 2 for 10 in her 4 overs. Look at those 15 dot balls. Kavisha as well, building some pressure. 4 overs, none for 15. A good bowling effort, but you got to say it's the batting that let down the UAE.
Absolutely. But it's the bowling that brought them back into the game as well. But Sri Lanka-A were calm enough to see this through. First of all, thanks to Gunaratne's 21 of 32, which I thought came under difficult conditions with a little bit of cloud cover and the ball moving. Dulani's 15 of 28 was some resistance indeed, and 14 of 15 for Nithyanga. Also making sure that Sri Lanka inch closer to the target, and eventually Silva ensuring that they go over the line. 96 for 7 Sri Lanka-A, eventually winning by 3 wickets, even though they would have liked to get there quicker. All in all, a fantastic game of cricket. And we'll keep bringing such games to you throughout the week and a little more. Here at the Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup 2023, coming to you live from Hong Kong.
Suhas, how important is this win for Sri Lanka-A in the context of qualifying for that semi-final? Like it says on the screen, Bangladesh A will be facing off against Malaysia in around an hour and 24 minutes from now. And Bangladesh, of course, along with Sri Lanka-A, are the pre-tournament favourites in this group. But how big is this win for Sri Lanka?
Any win's incredible, especially the first one. Reason being, it provides the momentum and belief to the side that you might be touring, but you've conquered the conditions better.
I do like the way that Sri Lanka-A fought back. 26 were needed of 24 deliveries. But they didn't panic. Even though they were losing wickets, that required rate was climbing. Sri Lanka-A, they ran with desperation. They ran with intent. And in spite of a couple of run-outs towards the end, they knew they had wickets in hand. They just had to keep the scoreboard ticking. They had to keep the runs ticking. Another look at the match summary.
Yeah, UAE 95. Thanks to Isha's 39 of 30 that provided the majority of the runs, with Tirtha batting well as well, 16 of 10. And Khushi first with a bat in hand, then with a ball in hand. It's been a complete performance from Khushi. Tried her best at the last over as well. But Sri Lanka, brilliant with a 21 of 32, thanks to Gunaratne. Vishmi Gunaratne leading the charge, and Dulani's 15 of 28 was also magnificent to watch because they were fighting conditions at that time. 96 for 7 Sri Lanka-A, eventually going past the total that UAE had set. Winning by 3 wickets.
I gotta say, a big moment for me in this game. Maithananda, when she clean bowled Isha Oza, who charged down the track and just missed it. Just completely missed it, took her eyes off the delivery. But what I liked about that, Maithananda, expensive first over. And she fired back with 4 wickets. And I guess we're going to find out now pretty shortly who's going to be the player of the match. We're ready for the player of the match presentation.
Well, we couldn't have asked for a more exhilarating and exciting start to the ACC Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup 2023. Sri Lanka-A winning by the barest of margins by 3 wickets and 1 delivery to spare. But fair to say that both the teams had their moments. And by the end of it, Sri Lanka-A just managed to get their first points on the points table as well. Hello and welcome to the presentation party. On behalf of the Asian Cricket Council, we'd like to firstly thank Cricket Hong Kong, the rights holder IPG Group and all the sponsors as well for their support. Well, I would like to firstly welcome Mr. Burji Shroff, the chairman of Cricket Hong Kong. Sir, if you could please kindly come over and you'll be giving away the medallion in some time. But we must also summarize as to what really happened earlier in the day. Winning the toss, UAE got 95 runs. They were off to a brisk start. Well, Isha Oza clearly was the pick of the batters who went on to get 39 of 30. She played a very handy innings. She also came in handy with the ball to get 2 for 10, supported by Tirtha Satish with the bat. And it looked like UAE were comfortable to get to a big score. But 9 wickets fell for 32 runs, and that's where the plot changed. And the momentum shifted to Sri Lanka-A, who were brilliant in the field, taking the catches. In the chase, well, everyone chipped in, and finally they got past it. Just the right time. I would like to call upon the captain who came second this afternoon, Chaya Mughal, if you could come for a quick chat. A round of applause to the performance of their team as well. Chaya, at the toss, you did mention 130 is something you're looking at. At 95, what was the talk in the dressing room?
Well, we just wanted to keep it simple. We were not aiming for something higher, but then that was the target that we had kept in our mind. Unfortunately, it didn't happen the way we wanted, and the wickets kept falling at regular interval. We couldn't build on the partnership, and that's something that costed us. Yeah,
your top order did look 1, 2, 3 did look very impressive, but where do you think that one area you'd like to really correct going into the next game?
Well, I think definitely it's the batting, wherein middle order has to also chip in few runs. If we get a good start, I mean, we have to continue with the same momentum. And if we continue to do that, I'm sure with our bowling, with our fielding, we can win all the games.
Yes, we did go into the last over. If you look at it, by the end of it, 5 was needed of 6. What was the discussion in those last 10 to 15 minutes? You felt you had a realistic chance of, pulling 2 points out?
We did felt from the first ball itself, we were very positive and we had to show our intent, whether it's bowling or fielding, we want to give up 100% on the field. And even till the last ball, the only aim was to stretch it till the last ball. So that's what we kept on doing, and I think that helped us.
And before I let you go, that catch, can you just take us through that? Absolutely brilliant. You had us all on our feet over there in the comm box.
Thank you very much. I mean, when you practice, you are bound to take those catches in the matches. So if you take 10 in the field, there's just 1 that comes on the ground. So it's just making that use of.
You're being very modest, but brilliant effort. Tough luck. All the very best for the next game.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right, just the right time to also. That's Chaya Mughal, of course, the captain of UAE. Just the right time to also call the captain of Sri Lanka-A, Satya Sandipani. If you could quickly come for a chat. Wow, that smile says it all, Satya. It must have been some very nervy moments in the dugout.
Dugout එකකට මොකද තිබ කලබලයි? මම එහෙම ලොකු විශේෂ එකක් ගත්තේ නැහැ. මට මගේ ටීම් එක ගොඩක් විශ්වාසයි. She said that she didn't take any pressure and she believed in her team.
You always believed 95 was a gettable total?
95 ගන්න පුළුවන් ද හැම වෙලෙම කියලා විශ්වාස කරාද අහනවා. මට ලොකු විශ්වාසයක් තිබුණා. ඒක කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා.
You all were brilliant in the field. Some very good catches, run out. That's something you all really consciously practice day in and day out to make a difference in the field.
ඔයා ඒ කියන්නේ ෆීල්ඩ් එකේ ගොඩක් ෆීල්ඩින් හොඳට කරා කට්ටිය. ඒක ගැන ඔයාලා ගොඩක් ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරාද එහෙම කියලා අහනවා. මගේ කණ්ඩායම මම හිතන්නේ ෆීල්ඩින් ගොඩක් හොඳට කරා. ඒක නිසා ප්‍රැක්ටිස් වෙලාවේදී ප්‍රැක්ටිස් මැච් වලදී ගොඩක් හොඳට කරා. ඒක නිසා මම හිතන්නේ යාළුවට ඒක ලේසි වුණා කියලා.
She's saying that we did great practices in our country, fielding practices, so we did a great job in here.
Right, many congratulations and all the very best for the next game as well. Right, captain of Sri Lanka-A. Well, we saw quite a few performances from both the sides, but there's one all-round performance that stood out completely. 4 for 16 with the ball and 11 valuable runs, unbeaten runs with the bat to ensure they see the team through as well. Madhushika Mehtananda with the player of the match, and she'll receive the player of the match medallion from Mr. Burji Shroff, the chairman of Cricket Hong Kong. What a performance, an all-round effort, and clearly she was the showstopper this afternoon. Congratulations, Madhushika. Great start to the tournament. What was the role given to you by your captain before the start of the match?
පාඩු දුන්න රෝල් එක මොකක්ද අහනවා කැප්ටන් ගේම් එක පටන් ගන්න කලින්.
මට කැප්ටන් දුන්න රෝල් එක මැච් එක අනිවාර්යෙන් ඉවර කරන්න ඕන. ඉන්න එක්කනත් එක සෙට් වෙලා කොහොමද ගේම් එක දිගට ඇදලා අනිවාර්යෙන් දිනවන්න ඕන කියන එක තමයි දුන්නේ.
Captain gave her the role to finish the game.
Right. Did you see the pitch changing any nature? Was it suiting faster bowlers or slower bowlers? You felt the pitch was difficult to bat on or bowl on as a pacer?
ඔයාට පිච් එක මොන විදිහටද පෙවුනේ බැට් කරන්න ලේසි විදිහටද බෝලේ ස්ලෝද ෆාස්ට් ආවද එහෙම?
පිච් එක බැට් කරන්න ලේසි. බෝල් එක ගොඩක් ස්ලෝ. නිසා විකට් එකේ හරහට ගැහුවොත් ගහන්න අමාරුයි. කෙලින් ගහපු නිසා ඒ රන්ස් ප්‍රමාණය ගහන්න පුළුවන් වුණා.
She's saying that the pitch was great for batters.
Right, and you were great with bat and ball as well. So many congratulations. 2 points for Sri Lanka. Continue the good work.
Thank you so much.
Player of the match in this contest between UAE and Sri Lanka. We've had a sublime start. We have another match lined up later in the day. Bangladesh taking on Malaysia. Stay tuned for that. That's it from the presentation ceremony.
check लेना हेलो चेक चेक आ रहा है ऑडियो वहाँ पे चेक कर हेलो चेक 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 कर पीछे सही लगी है केबल पावर है वॉल्यूम खुला है हैं हाँ तो पावर लगाना मैंने पावर के लिए तो बोला था चेक चेक वॉल्यूम कम करो वॉल्यूम कम करो चेक 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 वॉल्यूम सेट कर दो उसका चेक 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 चेक